and welcome everybody to the inaugural, I guess, European stream for BCS.
The first stream for Europe ever.
We're so fucking
We're
cooked.
so back.
To be fair, in fairness, we just had the announcement coming up. We just had head judges. Obviously, we have Mash as the head judge.
Yeah.
We had an insane uptick in players that we saw.
70% increase?
70% increase. We went up to 140 standard players. And with Jachidos just going like from invite to open, we jumped up to like, what, 66 players?
Yeah,
from like 24?
I think it increased by 50 or so.
That's like actually like
this is
nuts.
This is the greatest upgrade for any European BCS.
I don't think I've ever seen like an uptick of like 70% year on year. That's insane.
Or at least in my lifetime, my Vanguard lifetime, I've never seen that increase.
I mean, but in fairness, with that being said, like we're going to be getting our round one pairings in a moment.
Yeah.
So we're going to be getting all that set up. But
what
in
are
the
you excited for?
To be fair, like set 4 just became legal for us, so we're going to have a lot of new decks. We're going to have like LCFL, we're going to have Olden, which contrary to its name is like an insane aggro deck. Like we're going to have
Divine Protector.
Absolutely, it protects your win rate is what it does. Like, and then beyond that, we have things like, we have Levidrus, which although it gets a big upgrade next set, it's insane now.
Yeah.
We still have Doji staying from set 3. We have Nui that's still unhit, so arguably still best deck in the room. We've got some rogue picks can come up.
Doji Nui is what I'm aware of. You've got Blindmire decks.
Oh, that's real now. I forgot.
Yeah, Blindmire with its new support is a very scary deck. I can see that definitely sneaking into top cut, especially with these numbers. We're at top 16, which
7 rounds of Swiss as well.
7 rounds
crazy.
of Swiss, top 16. This was a joke for Europe that would we ever hit top 16? First one out of the bat, top 16.
Straight away, like immediately 70% jumps. Like this just shows you like what happens when because obviously this year we had a lot of work being put in from Bushore and Blackfire, kind of being able to announce things early, get things out of the way, having us being able to prep things on time, and you can see the results. Like we got 70% uptick. That's insane.
The results are showing. And so if you're watching at home and you want to attend BCSs, do it. Yeah, there are space.
There's space.
Space for you.
It's good. The locations this year are insane as well. Like we were just checking our stats. Last year we were looking at 79 standard players. Yeah. And today we're on 140.
142, I think.
So I think it's insane. Like we're almost doubling here. It's crazy. And the thing is as well, like we got so many new players coming up. Like one of the most interesting things that was happening at the moment is the fact that we have all these players that are coming back, existing players looking to reclaim their titles, remake it to Worlds, maybe this time make it all the way to the end. And then on the other hand, you have all these new players coming up that came in with Divines maybe in the past year. Because we got Divines in May, so we haven't really had a season except Springfest. Yeah. So people kind of find their footing, and now they get to kind of show test their mettle and see what happens.
Show off by themselves. Take that glory for themselves. Maybe secure a world invite on the way.
Glory set out now. Would you like to play EDH in Shadowverse? But the thing is, we're going to be getting our pairings fairly soon, and so what we're going to be doing, really real soon, is we're going to be just doing some deck loads. We're going to see the people coming up to the table, and we're kind of going to be able to see what's going to happen once we are able to move on from that. Because what I'm going to be doing momentarily is I'll probably go and just double check with our judge team and just double check, make sure everything's configured, because I believe everyone's getting their pairings fairly soon.
Yeah, from how it sounds like everyone's sort of sitting down, sort of talking to their opponent, maybe deciding who's going first, who's going.
Let me quickly just double check with our parent, because I believe we don't have a moment that anybody at the future table just yet. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly double check what's happening there, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get started, I reckon.
Perfect. So I'm going to be left alone for the stream by myself. What can go wrong? So, hello everybody. So, how are you feeling today? I think this event will be one of the best events for Europe. It's the first event. We want everything to go well. What can go wrong? Nothing can
go wrong when we're in charge.
And we're in charge now.
That's what my parents told me.
So what's it looking like out there?
So at the moment, I believe we'll just have our head judge kind of getting onto our feature table, because what's going to happen is most likely when the pairings get announced, we're going to have Bash kind of walk up to a table and kind of get him to nudge them over, because at the end of the day, it's a bit difficult to try and designate a table that's just going to be there. It kind of messes with everybody's sequencing. So also give us a bit more flexibility in picking kind of more interesting matchups. Yeah. Because obviously top cut is you're going to see kind of the best decks in the room and maybe a couple rogue picks. But I would really like to I think it would be really cool to get the ability to kind of pick up some when a cool deck happens at an event, you hear about it.
Exactly.
When somebody plays like Negerbold Gize, you hear that stuff. So you want to see that.
I want to see the cooks.
I want to see what everyone is doing while we're waiting for Rezael PS Vita to come out. And until then, we're going to have to for Cerezzel PSP. And unfortunately, that is still a valid deck, and we might actually get to see that today.
I hope we get to see it.
It's agony, actual agony. Because the thing is, as well, because you got decks like Nui, that is, like we said, unhit, like still arguably best deck in the room. There's some lines that people argue that it's generally being countered by things like Doji.
Yeah.
But the difficulty thing there is it does kind of end up becoming a weird knowledge check, because what you end up finding is Doji, what they will try and do is leave 3 units on the board. If Nui revives something, they will attempt to call over one of their things so that they can suck 2 in when one of them is dominated, and proceed to call over and intercept with the last thing. Now, unfortunately, that only works in so...
How is Equilibrium versus Olden?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Brilliant.
Destined Showdown. Let's go round
Destined
1.
Showdown. Destined Showdown of round 1.
So we're going to get the Destined Showdown round 1 of the Destined 1 of Scales Equilibria versus the Destined 1 of Gas, apparently. Olden.
Sort of defense. The defensive deck.
So the thing is, you'll be overhearing stuff in the back, and there's going to be a buzzer that's going to like blow your ears out, but that's okay.
Guys, please.
I swear to God, match. So what you're going to end up finding with this match was actually a really interesting one that we got queued up. Speaking of,
That scared me.
we have called in a
That is the fun you will hear at the end of time.
I'm going to jump when that happens. Like, live on stream.
But the thing is, the interesting is what Match was telling us what our matchup is going to be. It's going to be Equilibria versus Olden. And the interesting, so these are 2 brand new decks introduced with Destined Showdown. They came out only 2 weeks ago. So this is, I believe, the first event where these decks are legal. And one of the fascinating things about that deck is, contrary to the names, they actually play very, very differently. So what we have is Equilibria with the overcharge mechanic, which is effectively that when Equilibria exists, during its main phase, it has an act skill that allows it to target 2 units and activate their overcharge ability. Overcharge ability. My brain is going to keep saying overflow because I'm like Shadowverse brain. But with its overcharge brain, it's going to be able to activate extra effects that we're going to get to see later on as the game goes on. Now, the interesting thing with that is it actually generates very consistent high number attacks.
Yes,
and it's
I've seen from that deck as well.
it's insane. It easily pumps like 30-40k columns, and then you'd switch over to your divine skill that allows you to, because normally you choose 2, right?
Yes.
Your overcharge, choosing 2 or 3, but then your overcharge lets you pick everything. It lets you pick 2 more effectively. And the trouble is, the way the deck is generally divvied up is your front rows are like your attackers and restanders. It has Energy Blast 3 restander against 10k, but then its boosters are normally more resource cards. So there'll be your counter charges and have your more utility cards. And the interesting thing is, it's effectively having to pace out your attacks in such a way that you kind of force your opponent to eventually just have a turn where they get blown the hell out and there's just nothing they can do about it. While Olden just tries to gas the hell out.
Yeah. So how's that going to fare into a deck that will just turbo you out of the game before you get a chance to set everything up?
Because the trouble is, well, like, I believe the thing with Olden as well is it has a rear guard that can be a 20k shield, which is huge.
Yeah.
But it also has the ability that when it attacks, you're able to overcall a unit, and the moment you're able to do that, that unit will return to your hand when it's overcalled by Olden. So all of a sudden, you are no longer negging in order to be able to play your game plan. And so you have all these cards that are great attackers and huge shield value, you just tank up. But then when you attack and extend over and you overcall them, they just go right back to your hand. Yeah. So you can survive next turn and do it again. It's absolutely incredible.
I'm very excited to see this matchup and see what the players...
Bolden, absolutely Bolden moment.
He's ballin'. He's ballin' Bolden.
I'm sorry, due to the rise in inflation, the cost of Bolden has gone up. And apparently it's going to be secret. It better be secret res.
Well, are you guys doing a timer or are we timing it?
We don't need timers, we just need the deck lots, if that's right in the names.
So yeah, you can do that. You can...
Oh yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
Sure. Professional stream. We planned this. This is so calculated. Holy shit. But the thing is, well, like, it's actually incredible. Like, just looking here, everybody's tuning in from all over the world, really. Like, because at the end of the day, people have. Sometimes these events can be a bit difficult to get to. Sometimes you can't do all of them. But at the end of the day, what we're hoping to do here is to kind of be able to bring that to everybody in such a way that everyone can still keep up.
I want people to know the next world champion.
Absolutely.
Vanguard.
Absolutely.
And by streaming every event, hopefully we can show that.
Yeah, because like all the world champions are like European anyway.
Yeah,
so like odds are you'll probably see them here. Odds are. When was the last time we had a non-European standard world champ? No, standard has never not had a European.
Yeah.
I don't think since G format we had a non-European world champion.
I can't remember. Because
we had Nuno, then we didn't have events, and then we had Alex, and then we had last year.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, because it was Portuguese, then Austrian. Funnily enough, this is actually... People don't actually know this. So this event is hosted by Mao Cards. which is obviously placed in modeling in Vienna. And that is actually a former world champion, Alex's
Alex is playing
home shop.
But you've also got Cormac is playing here as well. So
world champion
we have the premium world champion playing. Hopefully we see him tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what he's cooking. Last time he repped Fenrir.
Yeah.
Maybe play something different. Who knows?
Well, it's to say he's here today as well. And I, if I had to wager, I'd have to say he's probably in something like Magnolia, but no one really knows. You know, you can always, he's always one. The one great thing about him is he's such like an isolated player in terms of his testing, that he can always just come up with really good stuff because his testing group is so different to everybody else.
Yeah.
They're so insulated that they just come out with the greatest cooks.
Well, what I've noticed is if you're in one testing group, you're in them all, but not with Cormac.
Yeah.
Cormac is the only person I know who I don't know what he's cooking.
His testing group is world champs. His testing group is the number one
It's
spot.
the number one only.
It's just him and himself.
It's an exclusive club, and unfortunately, I'm not allowed in.
Win worlds, I guess.
Gotta win
Do the rest of the events, it's fine. Good shot. Got it. Perfect, thank you very much. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to be prepping upstream for everybody.
You want me to start them early or?
Bear with me, in about like maybe 30 seconds. As soon as he sends me the second one, I'll get that set up and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
We're going to go.
I'm very excited for this matchup. I hopefully see some. I want to see some Dark States rep. Everyone knows me. I'm the DI. Yeah, I want to see some Bravmiles. I want to see some. Maybe some Barrow Magnuses.
No shot.
No
Sorry,
shot.
Tajay's not here today. Tajay is not here today.
If somebody gambles enough, we can
It's Gamba time.
get this.
Oh.
Any Barrow Copers?
No thanks. Don't do this. Not in my house. So the fascinating thing is I'm actually just going to get everybody's details loaded up at the moment, but I'm quite excited. It's looking to be like a pretty interesting deck, actually. So we got Aquilibra on one side, like we said, and on the other side, we're going to be getting just the Alden details, and God, the second that's up, it's going to be... Whew.
We'll be able to see the deck. We won't
Momentarily,
won't leak any goo, but when it comes up, we'll definitely be
yeah,
talking
done
about it.
good. There we go. Where are we? If Bravmile is not Alden, I swear to God. Is my spelling dumb? I have to actually check.
Of course. How could I forget
not...
How could I forget Chronojet?
Chronojet is not real.
How could
it is actually. It's very real.
How could I forget Buff Jet?
Bet Juff?
Bet Juff.
Bet Juff.
It's Bediff.
With the Jet is buff. But what we're going to be starting very shortly. Actually, Mash, can you? Yeah, as long as you get started, we should be absolutely fine. So what we're going to be get them started. And so everybody, I would like to finally welcome you to our very first BCS in Vienna from it's being streamed, and we can actually get the game started. Hopefully we got the angles the right way around. Hopefully, we'll find out, I suppose. We're gonna we're gonna shrink the name because apparently that's something we have to do now. Unfortunately, nation names are big, and when they're big, we have to. We're scuffed. You know what? Fuck. We own it. We're scuffed. Oh fuck! Screaming eternally. This is. Ah, God. Actually, have we got them the wrong way around? We have got them.
We have got them.
So what you can see is Alden. While I switch this around, you're going to see Alden kind of coming up at the moment. And Alden, you can see there, he's running the grade 1. What that's going to enable him to do, he's going to be able to show through comes through different grades and get it. I'm going to be setting up stream because apparently we got them on the wrong side. We need to check this with players. But the first draft check is a blank. His opponent is going to know God that.
He threw the dog down early. Just to secure the damage. Get another drawback. Dogs are always pretty good to open. It's weird seeing them on turn 1 though. Usually I see three dogs in 3 dogs on turn 2, rushing the opponent down.
So, unfortunately, we need to actually get better at figuring out the sides here. So we're gonna have to swap these around quickly.
Please bear with us.
Sorry guys, scuffed stream. Please forgive. Oh fuck. Christ almighty.
But I'm just looking at this Alden deck, and yeah, it's what I would expect.
Oh God. There we go. Did we have it right the first time? Did we just gaslight ourselves? Oh, we did just gaslight ourselves. Very cool. This is... There we go. Our apologies there. It's going to hopefully be smoother in a moment when we're done scuffing. There we go. Here we are.
There we go. And they're up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. There we are. Also, in the meantime, you will also note that we did miss a little bit of damage being dealt there, unfortunately. But, and then you can see that, I think it's the Oldens, I believe? So, yeah, I mean, we're not looking smile. I'm gonna have to look away momentarily.
But that's the Minerva order, the fate of the famous Caterpile.
Yeah, at the moment we're going to be often seeing is so you
Oh,
can...
look at that! Look at that!
He
play.
sees T-Fault.
Oh, T-Fault and
Absolutely
dog.
insane. So what T-Fault...
That's insane.
So I think so those of us that don't know what T-Fault enables us to do is when it's called by an ability, we're able to Soul Blast 1, and when we Soul Blast 1, we're able to top 5 and call something. So this guy is the absolute GOAT, and he decided that today he is simply him. And so he just calls T-Fault and dog.
T-Fault and dog. So let's see what he calls off.
Oh, and he calls the Olden booster. So what that promo effectively does... Oh, not promo. Rather, what this card effectively does is it allows you to become a 10... against 10k when it's played. It's absolutely insane.
It's going to be insane for... And he's just throwing more boosters down. These numbers on turn 2.
Yeah, so he's swinging at the moment, so he's going to be gunning. His opponent's probably going to take this first one
That's
because, he's taking 3 attacks. But he does check a heal.
That's a heal. That's
and
a live
the heal is going to be pretty huge, actually, in this case. Because what you're going to end up finding is you just see him... Because,
so yes.
Yeah, so you heal, he just goes straight down. He stays on 1. Proceeds to swing with the Vanguard for, I believe, 18. He's going to probably guard with it. May as well at that point.
That was an Alden. That was checked.
And looking for a 23k swing. So that's going to probably demand, what? 15k? Both 15k
he's just taking it.
Yeah, and he just takes it. And unfortunately for him... Oh. What is going on there? Let's quickly check while the... Oh, there we go, we're back. Okay, not sure what happened there. And then the Olden player simply passes turn. Top decks what seems like another heal. And yeah, the Olden just energy charge, then passes on.
Now we're just waiting for him to see what he discards for the ride deck. He's roading up. He's just having a read of his card. These cards have been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
came out just 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
New strategy, new chance at plenty of new options.
Yeah, Accel at the moment just riding up. He's probably just going to start thinking about what he's going to be calling. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the card he's currently holding is, I believe, the Restander, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it looks
so
like
I believe
it.
once he... Oh, actually, so he's just reading the Accel. Once he calls it, what we can see him calling here, in effect, is this brand new booster that effectively allows you that when it's written up, it's effectively just going to be our ride line card. So then you can see it has an overcharge ability. Then when this unit was chosen by the ability of your grade 3 or grade 2 with Accel, it gains 10k. So I don't know if you were talking earlier, you were saying that you get to use this thing as a bit of a resource engine. So he's currently reading it. I think they're at the moment both kind of coming slowly to terms with what their new cards do. Because like we said, this is a new set, there's a new environment, and I believe the card he's currently calling is our Panzer Shock Dragon, which again is an overcharge effect. That when it attacks, if it is overcharged, so if it's chosen by the ability of a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Accel in its name, what it effectively then does is you can Energy Blast 3, it gains a whole 15k, and at the end of it you draw 2 and you retire this unit.
That sounds like Ghost Ship.
4 more years. So yeah, you can see he's just committing double to the front row. He's looking to just start pushing. As you can see on the other side as well, we've also got our brand new Restander. So during the effect, if you have 3 or more units with overcharge, it gains 5. So as you can see, the deck is around getting enough units with overcharge on the board. And when it is overcharged, when your grade 3 or Vanguard attacks, if you were chosen, sorry. So when it attacks a grade 3 or grade 2, so it's not triggering now, but we're looking to set up for next turn. He is then able to, when his Vanguard swings, Energy Blast 3 and restand this card, and it gains 10k. So it becomes a whole 25k on its own, which is absolutely insane. Because again, we're talking a deck that pushes numbers. Yeah, we're talking a deck here that pushes numbers. So it can get kind of crazy when you start pushing.
Though Alden's hand looks fairly healthy. I'm seeing some yellow cards. I'm seeing some triggers. What should his strategy be for this going into this defensive turn now? What should Alden be doing?
So Alden realistically here is going to be looking to try and collect, to basically reserve as much hand as he can, because so you can see him PGing here. His opponent checks a crit. Because
Pretty big.
the thing we're trying to do here is we're trying to basically save it for next turn so that when he's able to overcall his board, he's basically trying to bait his opponent to attack his Vanguard because he wants to keep that board. If he gets to keep that board, it all goes to hand, and then the next turn, Alden has an order, and we know what order does in Keta. It just lets him just call over the T-Fault again. And the second check is a Shenri. So notice that because the deck has an order that revives, we are still running Shenri in this environment, which is absolutely crazy because unlike Selgaon, it requires them to either have no rear guards or the order. So you're going to start seeing orders that use Shenri more
You've got to
often.
play. Yeah, you've got to
And
play
he
the
drops
order.
the OT for it. Purple OT as well. So actually, since Festival Collection, we have been seeing a big uptick in OT in purple OTs being played. Of course, because we've seen it just take over the meta, like takes over the place of nation OTs, red OTs, blue OTs.
I mean, it's a heal trigger that can potentially create another attack. Healing in standard is incredibly powerful. It's playing effectively the 5th heal.
Yeah. And effectively, no, even more than that, because it's a heal defensively and defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment, we're just seeing the Alden coming down, the brand new Destin 1 of Protection Alden. And the thing is, you can see it has the continuous effect that when when it calls over one of your rear guards, that rear guard goes right back to your hand.
So you can maintain your hand advantage while pushing out.
Yeah.
That's why it's defensive.
But the funny thing with that is, well, it also gives support to a brand new Grade 3, which is effectively allowing us, when we guard with it, it gains a staggering 20k shield, which is insane.
20,000?
So it becomes
Wow.
an attacker, and then when you swing with it, it then bounces to your hand, and then when it's done being bounced, it's another shield. So it's like decks at the moment run fronts because they need that shield value so desperately, and then they just go, Alden, you just get to have this for free on the house.
You get
On the house, champ.
But his board is looking very healthy with another dog. He's going to generate some hand advantage, and then afterwards, you see him overcalling, and then the dog. But these numbers are going to be massive.
Why is that dying on me at the moment?
Just signaling that it gets the 10,000 power. There's the there's the power to the board.
Apologies, guys. At the moment, we're having a bit of a difficulty with our damage counters, which is not ideal. But
It's okay. We can just.
we can try and get them. We'll leave them and we'll come back to them after this round. So no one you can see Alden's building his full board. He's got the current, so you see he's going double Selgaon, so he's going to be plussing a whole lot this round.
There's going to be a lot of cards in his hand afterwards, and hopefully not a lot of cards in the Dragon Empire.
And I believe as well, what we're looking at behind the Alden is this brand new booster that effectively says that during the battle that this unit boosted, if you have a Great Hero Great Vanguard with Alden in its card name, it gains 5k, so we're looking at a 13k booster. And that when it boosts a Great Hero Great card with only you may soul charge 1, and it gains another 2k. So as normal, we're looking at 15k boosters.
15K booster.
So you're looking at all these brand new decks forming up 28k columns. And his opponent, is that damage checking 2 Alcalibras? Am I misseeing that?
That look.
Is that Alcalibra? It looks like 2 Alcalibra. So he might have lost a Sutorei just now, which is kind of rough, actually. Really, really unfortunate for him. Okay, we can see the Alden resolving. He's currently soul charging. He's swinging. Yeah, he's doing that soul charge. He's CB1ing. He's going to be calling over his new Grade 2. And that Grade 2 is going to go, but this is a Grade 2 introducible in set 13, so a little while ago. But unfortunately, that Alden was just not picking up, and he's calling the same
He's
card.
calling the same card. It's going to be big.
Yeah, and what we're actually looking at here is this card from set 13, Sharpness Knight Ermac, which is when placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Alden in its card name, it gains 5k. But if it was placed by a Vanguard's ability, it gains another 5k. So you're kind of looking at like 20 here, but that forces his opponent to do the PG because his opponent knows that all he has to do is stabilize. There's a 20k shield and a Persona Ride. So we know that next turn his opponent is going to have to put some serious pressure on him. And he's swinging, yeah, opponent's going to be looking at some big numbers. I believe it's looking for as high as potentially 25, I believe.
Just thinking about it.
And Alcalibur has to drop the 50, has to drop the defensive roll. So yeah, Alcalibur is just not seeing the shield right now. So if we're actually going to pay attention here,
But that was an interesting play. This was a play that we saw when Dominic first popped up.
Absolutely.
Defensive roll with the over trigger.
So yeah, if we get a little glimpse at his hand, we can see he does have his PGs and his heals, but his hand is running a little skin. So he has to keep being able to keep those pieces, or he's going to go just too high. And the issue is, against Alden, if you go too high, you're just going to get absolutely blown out next time. That's just super unfortunate. But he gets a defensive. So it is going to make it a little bit easier, but unfortunately the turn is going to be over now. But we do resolve a second
the
Selgate
last
on.
defensive feels very bad. It's always the worst feeling, the last attack, last take, always a defensive.
Especially for a deck who's unfortunately, one of our Calibra's big weaknesses is the fact that they do only generate 1 damage at a time. So you're going to really want the crit pressure to be able to seal out games, especially when you're sitting on 4 and your opponent's just on 2.
It's not looking good, but hopefully turn it around.
I mean, with any luck, we're going to get to see the restandard putting in the work, and we'll kind of go from there. So
There's
yeah,
the
we do get the
Persona
Persona
Ride.
Ride. So in spite of him damage checking one, we see another one coming out. Yeah, they're keeping track of their numbers. We can see it coming out. It looks like one of our grade 1 units. So effectively what we're going to be seeing here, if we decide to peep game here, what we're going to be seeing is this brand new grade 1 card, which is on place if it's chosen by an overcharge, or if you have 2 or more units with overcharge, you CB1, draw a card, and a soul charge 1. And then if it's overcharged, if this card was chosen, you can choose and give your Vanguard 10k, which is insane. Like, especially again, we're talking again, our Calibra, bigger and bigger numbers all the time.
So you should be looking to put as much damage on the board as possible.
Especially with this, again, brand new Drag Grid to Farzilla, which is again overcharge. And this one you'll notice gets 10k and countercharges if it's overcharged.
Free resources.
So again, you can see the deck. Yeah, the deck just countercharges, counterblasts, draws cards, makes massive columns. But effectively, like we're talking, this is the choice. If you choose your back rows, you're going to get all these huge numbers and resources. But if you choose your front rows, you're going to get those restanders. You're going to get that retire. You're going to get more card draw.
It'll be interesting to see what he picks for. I think he should be matching Alden's gas with his own gas.
Yeah, going to have to.
Put the pressure on. Try and put the damage in, and hope you can live next turn.
Absolutely,
to close out the game.
Absolutely, but especially when he's on 4, you know, with a deck like Alden, the trouble Alden does have is that it does eventually run out of gas, because you know if everything's run, if it can't stabilize, it's just going to fold. So what Akariba's probably looking to do here is gain a bit of board control. It is going to do damage again. It's a 20k shield, and we know Alden's not. We haven't seen that many PGs out of him, which means he's going to need those 20k shields, and he's going to have to start burning them.
We did see one PG last turn. PG and the overtrigger was out, so 2 big defensive cards have been taken out of the game.
Especially when Akariba can make, like we were saying, 40, 50k columns. Especially those 20k shields are going to start getting real valuable soon. And you know, you're going to really have to start hoping they're going to start coming in clutch in the near future.
See what he does. He drops his 15. Swinging again. So it's 2 restanders.
Yeah. So he's going to get to effect, but they both have to be chosen as well, which is kind of crazy.
So that's mapped what he's doing this turn.
Also, I was going to say, I think after this game, I think we're getting some reports that the stream is looking a little glitchy. But we might require a very brief restart. And as soon as the restart is over, we're going to be able to go from there.
Yes.
Actually, what we might be able to do very briefly, if we ask people to refresh their stream momentarily, we're going to be able to hopefully fix our visual problems. So please stay put with us. We are going to be restarting it. You know what, actually does it? If it crashes dynamically, that'll be great. It actually looks like it might. And hopefully what that might allow us to do, hopefully, if we can start using our little damage counters again, would be Poggies. Yeah, unfortunately not at the moment.
So we're back.
Yeah, so the Arclibus, here he is swinging. You can see the restand coming up. When he swings, his opponent's... Do you reckon... Actually, what would you do? Would you take the swing? Because you're on 3, right?
You're on 3. Double crit's the only out.
Because we've seen a lot of heals. So yes, you see not much coming out, but Rhaegar's also swinging. It's a pretty conservative turn, actually.
I would. Well, you've got to look at it from his perspective, right? Alden player is probably thinking they'll win next time. If they've got a Persona Ride in hand, they probably think 4 damage, maybe just take out, conserve the hand.
Very possible.
Is that 2 Minerva orders in damage, I see? So, no defensives. That is unfortunate. But it's the draw for turn. Hits the Persona Ride.
Yeah, so we saw him drag check that last turn. He's going to be energy charging again. And as soon as he's done energy charging, we're hopefully going to see. Do you reckon he's going to be playing the order? Because the Olden order is a little jank. I don't believe we've seen him play it. In fact, I don't believe he's on it at all. So you're probably not going to be seeing calling too much of a board. But what you might find is he just goes for the vanilla swings. If he has another cell going, that kind of does the job anyway. Because he does have more regards than his opponent.
He'll be hitting big. He'll be.
It calls double grade 1 again. We're looking at our 13k boosters, and those are gonna get pretty big. Because on top of Sunride, you're looking at what 43k columns. Like that T-fold is going to be 43k. That other column is going to be also. I think we're looking at about the same numbers. Like that's a lot of pressure.
I think Alden should be pushing. Should be looking for game here.
I think there's a world where he just might. I think we're getting a little bit of technical difficulties with our bitrate, so we do apologize for that. We're hopefully going to get that sorted by the time the next round begins. But in the meantime, it gets rough. Because I mean, just think about it from Accelibra's perspective, right? So he just saw the 2 orders go to damage, but importantly, like we said, Alden decks out, Alden gasses out. Those aren't pieces he needs anymore. He got his defaults.
He's using a Shenry, an Intercept.
And what is that extra card? I believe, if we're not mistaken, that extra card in his hand. So he's showing us the Brachio Force as well.
That was a 3 cards from hand gone. If I'm not mistaken, that means he has 4 cards left in hand.
And the thing as well is like, yeah, so is he going Ray? No, he's asking for Raygun now, as it appears. Because yeah, so we can see the Olden is definitely going to go for the double restand here. Because he's going to get that 20k shield back to hand. So I think you go for the big number here. He's going to have to take one. Is he taking it?
He gets no defensive.
Unfortunately, it is a Brachio Force, so now he is really under pressure. Like it's all now. He's looking at what 38k Olden.
The last poke. Vanguard swing.
No, he's going to draw one. He's going to be calling 2. This is 2 more attacks, and you're going to be looking at 30k grade 2 there.
That's a very healthy swing. 4 card. We did see a PG.
Yeah. We did see one come out. Yeah.
So,
well, but then the question is, can you really stare down at a 30k ray guard and just go, yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, he's going for the double. He's going for the T-fault as well, and that T-fault is 43.
43 T-fault. Oh, yeah, he's just confirming the numbers.
No,
now.
45 even, not even 43, I don't believe. Yeah, because we're looking at. Oh no, it is 43 because we're not getting 2k because I'm boosting Golden.
45.
So what I'm going to be looking at is he's swinging. His opponent's going to be saying, getting numbers. He's really trying to see if he can get that light slide. Do you reckon the PG comes out here?
I would PG here.
What are we looking at? Potentially, what, as little as four cards in hand?
Is that a?
That is a defensive roll that we're seeing.
Is that a defensive roll?
It seems like a defensive roll. So I think he is thinking.
I think he's playing for the 6.
He's going for the PG, and he's discarding. He's going to be discarding his draw card, and his opponent is going to be saying, first check, draw trigger, and second. Ooh. So we did see a draw there. So when do we? And the draw went to the T-fold. So we're looking at 53 now. What are the odds he has another PG? Surely not. I mean, even if you have PG, I feel like your other line has to be exactly trigger and defensive roll. Otherwise, you're just cooked, right? And I think what would be smart here in that case? Ooh. So I think this might be a little misplay on the Alden's player, because if we are considering that his other card could be a trigger and defensive roll, so 3 cards in hand, there is a world here where not swinging the T-fold actually gives him an avenue to go trigger plus defensive roll, guard that time with an intercept, and then just drop the free PG on the T-fold. So I think there could have been an argument here for swinging T-fold first to try and burn the PG, and ensuring that the last attack can't hit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've seen the OT out of the Dragon Empire.
We have not seen the over trigger out.
Because I believe he's also on the Dragon Beta, because again, if you're looking at decks that are on attack restands, it starts looking real nice when you got a Dragon Empire OT. Even if it is once per turn. I believe it is once per turn, but we can double check that for us. We can get a head judge to pop in for us. Because, yeah, if we're thinking here, we're looking at Accel trying to utilize the new Shalhoub, and, even with it being once per turn, there's still some pretty hefty numbers we're talking about here. Because, at the end of the day, what you're going to end up finding is that it's on attack, it's a big numbers, his opponent is thinking, you can see him, you can see those gears turning in real time. So it seems like we are again having. Oh, that's a frustrating.
We're still having some technical issues with the connection. So we're just popping up to see if we can fix them. So we're just We're just having AL quick pop-up games over.
So it would appear that, unfortunately,
No
the
sick
older
heal.
player would have had to have taken it with no 6 damage heal, but our camera does appear to be slightly frozen right now. So we do apologize at the moment. We will be back very shortly. But until then, we might end up doing a little stream restart just to get this up and running. So, guys, we will see you in just a moment. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We will be seeing you in a moment. So right. Okay, so unfortunately, I think we had some technical issues, so apologies for that. I think we're back now.
We are so back.
We're back. For round 2, unfortunately, we did see the Accel win game 1. I believe Alden didn't go, Alden wasn't able to heal, took the damage. And
So Alden won.
Alden died. Alden couldn't heal.
It was Accel that was...
Accel swung. Oh, yeah, Accel. Me when brain fried. Me when the support is tech.
Alden, so Alden closing out the game, sort of just outgassed it really. Played it correctly by perfect Gabriele, using the big shield to that they had in hand.
Yeah, in the end, it just turned out the Accel just didn't have enough. Like we said,
no gas.
Well, what we saw in that, we saw PGR. So even if they had another PG, by some miracle, they would have still needed to. New table?
Table 1. Nick versus Anna. 2 BCS top players.
Oh wow, yeah.
If you can,
go for that.
If you give us the deck logs, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So we've actually got 2 BCS topping people as our next opponents, Nick and Hannah.
I believe that's Nick No we're talking about.
Nick No, very.
From Team Phantom Bullet.
Team Phantom Bullet.
If I had a nickel for every time.
Very well-known player within the English and European community. He's topped multiple BCSs.
Yeah.
What do you think he'll be on today before we get the deck logs?
Ooh, so knowing Nick, we're probably looking at potentially Willista, maybe even Lysiafel.
Yeah, I could see him on Lysiafel.
Yeah, he does seem to favor his lyrical decks.
He does like his lyrical.
I mean, that or he's a Giga Chat flag bug, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
Somehow I feel he's not that brave.
Yeah.
Even he's not that brave shooter. Yeah, well, hopefully as soon as we're going to hopefully be getting our little deck logs and we can get set up and we'll be transitioning to the fight screen fairly soon. Which, I mean, we'll see how that works out. But at this point, we're just like, if our game works smoothly and we see we see cards when they need to happen and the damage works, we're happy. We're happy campers.
Nick is also a judge. He's judged a lot of events. So that's how I knew him.
You didn't even know he played the game.
I didn't even know he played the game. So I personally know Nick. He's sold me a few cards. Brotherhood.
TCG matter goes crazy.
So he's definitely. I'm definitely rooting for Nick. So I'm a little biased there. Got room for home task.
Team Britain.
But Hannah, do we know much about her? She's topped, but
I mean, possibly. I mean, we can have a look at what, in essence, really here. Like, this is round 2, and I mean, that's one of the cool things. Like, we're only in round 2 of 140 players.
Yes.
So, we're looking at basically 70 players matching into each other, if double losses. And we're already kind of getting, the real, like, real world's experience. Like, you're already looking at people topping events here. Like, it's kind of nuts. Like,
the BCS experience, you're round 2, you play into somebody that's got multiple tops. See, but Hannah has no pushover either.
Yeah, I mean, you topped a BCS, you gotta be it.
You've got to be good. You've got to know what you're doing. So
actually, let's quickly double check with our judges, see when we're going to be coming up, because I believe everybody's looking to be starting fairly soon. So I'm just going to quickly grab over the deals that we need, and then we're going to be careful to carry on.
Perfect. So. We've just signaled for the judges for the deck log, and we'll be getting that in a very short.
Oh, is that head judge? It's my beloved. Judge Mash. It's my beloved. It's Mash, my goat.
We'll be starting round 2 now.
And just like that.
Not for us though. Not for us. We're special. We got our own table. No one talks to us. That's our table. That's our territory. That's just like one of those things though, because like, just think about it. Like, you win one round, right? Like you're a little Timmy from locals. You win one round. Next round is like literal world champ, like staring you in the face, and you're like, winnable. I can win from this position. But again, that's just like one of the things about Vanguard, right? Like, just things like the trigger mechanics, like these like insane combat. Because like we've mostly played other card games, and in those games sometimes there are just game states where you just you open your hand and you go, well, I'll go home, I guess. But like Vanguard like never quite feels like that. You can always
come back.
Yeah, you can. No, nothing stops a 6 damage heal 3 times in a row. So 10 LK. 10 LK stops it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going to be looking. I believe we're slowly getting the details through for the next round.
We've just received the details, so we'll be putting that into our little system, which a pretty well-known person in the community helped us with that.
Yeah, so this is actually a system often used by Fuzzy Paradox from VG Paradox, the absolute GOAT. And yeah, no, he's been working on this in the background. I believe you've been able to see some of this on the Legacy Cups they've been commentating.
You should check out Fuzzy if you haven't already. His resource is one of the best things for this community.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. And I believe as well, what we're going to be looking at in a moment is in just a few seconds, we're going to be probably starting to transition over. And, again, we're looking at potentially Shiranui players here. Like...
Shiranui.
Oh, so actually that's what we're going to be seeing from Nick now, I believe.
Nick is on Shiranui, so
he might just be, yeah.
Will he dominate the game?
Oh, one sec. Yeah, I believe the game is underway. I believe they didn't quite opt to wait for us this time, which is unfortunate. But he's facing Unner, so this is one of my teammates.
Oh, it's Unner, not Hannah.
Yeah, no, so we must have misheard it. So yeah, what we're going to be looking at the moment is we're going to be transitioning over to the main match screen, and it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be looking at... What are we even looking at here? Is this... Oh, it's just a Shiranui mirror.
It's a Shiranui mirror.
That's...
That...
These are always tough matches. Like, you often try and go, try and pop your first, try and go second, but we already...
Nick on Shiranui, though, that...
But we already see Unner on, 2 damage. Like, it's already going so quickly.
Yeah, the aggro... And there's Revertus, the Dragon Empire and Dark States
Dragon for that Soul Charge is calling the Grey one because he is going first.
We've got
so he's going to start being able to really
get
aggro
that
Nick.
Aggro out, swing into rear.
Nuts. That's going to be absolutely crazy at the moment. Because he's just able to pop out so much damage. Like, what do you do to that, right? Like, how do you out this?
Song check it. Okay. He's riding up, getting his energy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's looking at just 1 damage. It is going to start going a fairly long way, actually. Because these things really start adding up for the newbie players.
Discard an Esperidius. That is his restand. That's one less restander that got to worry. But Shiranui is unhit on the ban list right now.
Yeah, we don't have the restriction
the Dragon Empire OT. So we do get. They are at full restand capabilities. So losing the Esperidia sounds rough, but maybe it isn't.
Not that big. So as well, I think the Esperidia.
That Revertus call. That Soul Charge. Called the.
But you remember that card as well. It allows you to bounce it up to hand when you swung the Dominate unit. But had he been crit, he would have been able to also draw a card off of that. And you see him drive check a PG, which is actually reasonably big. And unfortunately, we see Unner go to 3 already. But he does get a defensive, which this early in the game does matter. But unfortunately, it's last attack of the turn.
So doesn't.
I'm sensing a trend here.
Wasted trigger. That is unfortunate.
And we see Unner's still grade 2 gaming. Another forward Revertus.
This is what we love to see.
Unfortunately, that is a heal that could have probably come in pretty useful right now. But he is opting to CB. What are we going to see him getting out? Ooh, he's thinking. He's
retiring. He's
just going for the pop of the forward. Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to try and grade 2 game, you just want to eliminate as much of their guarding as possible.
And they're defensive.
And that's
now,
rough.
Will Nick be greedy? He is.
Oh, my God! And Nick going another defensive, but it might not even matter. He's going straight to 4. That is brutal, but that second defensive does basically shut off on his turn. So really unfortunate for Unner, but I don't think he can complain too much. He does draw the Bulvis.
Drawing the card.
He is going to be calling out his Soul Charges as Shenri. So if we see another forward Revertus, it can start coming up.
Is there a Revertus?
And we discard the Forbidol for Stride. No, we don't. Sorry, we activate Forbidol. Of course, yeah, it's grade 2 game. He's going to grab the Esperidia.
He's adding the Esperidia.
And I believe that's another Bulvis we're looking at.
It is a Bulvis.
So the thing is, the one thing we're looking at that people really don't often think about is we're looking at cards like Bulvis. And, people know the Stride effect. People know that, of course. But what people tend to forget is that it does gain 5k and it does retire. So, especially in decks in matchups like Nui, it can become pretty relevant pretty quickly, actually.
Right.
Case in point, popping one of the forward Revertuses. And, we're looking at Unner, who's on 3, can't take too much. We're looking at Twin Drive, he's swinging for 18. Unner might have to drop 10 here.
Only a 10 drop, so...
But this is standard, so 10 can be a lot.
10 can turn into 15 very quickly.
And
and
so
it's
he's
a
going to take it. Ooh, and it's an unfortunate for
going
Unner
into the
hit.
revertus.
It goes straight to 4.
And now,
Swinging for the. He's going to
He's
have to PG.
perfect guarding.
He's going to have to, right? I mean, you can't risk it at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, he already swung Grey God, so this is the final attack of the turn. So I think you just play it safe. You swing, and you just pray that they're not going to see that red card. I hope they don't see that funny Drag Vader.
Well, Drag Vader, you can't play Drag Vader because it's
Oh,
choice
of
restricted.
course. I mean, at first, you can still look at Purple OT. Anything he was kind of scary.
Purple OT.
But Persona Ride and Cycle does give him defensive options. And yeah.
Yeah, I was. I think PGing there was 100% correct. If Nick was on blue OT, the game would have been over.
Or triggers even. Like anything of the sort can just be so scary.
But I think Nick's attack pattern was interesting, swinging with the rear guard first.
Yeah, you'd feel like you'd probably want to swing the Vanguard though, right? I mean, I suppose you're trying to play around the defensives, right? But because, you know, there's no booster on the other side, but you're really hoping to do a bit more here. But thankfully for us, he's thinking, you know, he's got to have to ride up, but he's thinking on the discard.
Because he swung the rear guard second into the rear guard. So if he...
Ooh, that's the Esperidia being discarded. So does he have another restander? Yeah, so what we're going to be seeing very, very often is we're going to be looking at him discarding to stride. Unfortunately, it's Esperidia, not the bulbous like you would have wanted. But what you're going to be seeing here is our favorite boy. It's going to be the Magen Tenbu. Yeah, you can see... Ooh, unfortunately, he still tries a second trigger now. But Magen Tenbu, as we all know, is going to allow him to dominate something. He's got another Esperidia. Oh my god. Yeah, you're looking at the dominates here, and what Magen Tenbu is going to be doing for us, he's going to let us dominate something. Yeah, so he's going to go for the Grey 2 into the Vanguard. It's going to be a 19k swing. Oh, sorry, but that's an 18k swing. Oh, we don't look, it's 5k, isn't it? No.
5.
9. So, no, it's 19k.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're just going to have to take it. What's he dropping there? Is he dropping his Cycle and... Are we looking at Cycle and Furai? So, see, the funny thing is, in a few months, if we're getting the Japanese restriction on Furai, that's going to be a one-off. But, you know, he is trying to...
It's not right now.
Not yet. Yeah, there we go. He's going for the front. So, again, you're getting all that dominate pressure, and that's the Magen Tenbu skill. He activates Ladder, which is actually pretty big in this matchup.
That is an insane...
Yeah, Unner looks Nick in the eye and goes, "You will not be dominating."
But what's really funny
that's why Esperidia is being run, though. So it's a question of, is he going to see enough Esperidias in time? Because this is exactly why we run it, because we're expecting the mirror to be so prominent. And you can't just be affording to shut your whole turn down like that.
But what is very funny is they both had their Regardless piece. Nick had his Forbidol. So Nick opted to use Forbidol over Racing Ladder. So he opted for the ability to search out his targets over...
well, in essence, he's effectively chosen accepting that his opponent is going to ladder. And so that when they do, he wants to make sure he's set up for next turn. And he's going to have to PG there. And he does check a critical on the second drive check. Where is that going to be going?
Big.
It's going to be going to the restanding Furai or the restood Furai. And another forward Revertus. So yeah, next turn, you're just going to be looking more and more pressure coming out.
4 cards in hand at 4...
So that Furai is 2 damage.
The overlays haven't seemed to update it,
Ooh.
but they are. Nick is at 5.
Nick is at 5 now, yeah.
And
that
he goes
is
to 6,
correct.
and it's game.
It's
not enough.
And yeah, unfortunately for us, that's going to be game for Unner. Unfortunately for Nick, the thing with this kind of matchup is it can be super rough. Very swingy, and you're looking at them both going full aggro. Unner trying to go for the Grey 2, which turned out to be the correct decision.
But if Nick had played Racing Ladder in that situation,
yeah,
over
that would have been
what
huge.
would have... We would have lost 2 less attacks.
Yeah, well, what Unner does is he's effectively taking a bit of a gamble here. So what Unner's effectively gambled on is going, look, I'm going to stay Grey 2. You're going to stride. If you're on ladder, it doesn't super matter because he had his Esperidia.
Nick didn't stride.
Correct, because Unner decided to Grey 2 game, right? Because Unner, I guess from Unner's perspective, if you ride up, you're not doing much. Your stride doesn't do a huge amount, and you don't actually mind them laddering you. Because as we saw, he discarded 2 Esperidias. So he would have been fine either way.
Yeah.
So all he really cares about is wanting to see Nick commit so that he gets his first ride and buys himself a turn to be able to ladder.
They play it very correct in the early game to just aggro. This matchup is decided by the early game. Who can aggro out better? 2 Revertus does that, and then the Bracing Ladder as next. It turns out the Bracing Ladder wasn't needed, but if triggers happened, heal or OT.
In fact, unfortunately for Nick, we did see 2 normal units and one with no shield. So we saw an average of 5k shield across 2 cards. And one of them draws a card, but in a deck like Nui, you run so many grade 3s and 4s that...
Which is why,
I'm
very curious about his decision to play ladder over...
Well, you're getting 2 out of your deck, right? I mean, I suppose that's the argument.
But it's 1 non-shield value, and it's not ladder. If you're expecting Nubatama to be one of the top dogs, surely you'd want the one-off that you see to be better. So I'd be curious to see what his thought process was there.
Well, unless the gamble you're trying to make is effectively looking at the field and going, you know what, actually, it's going to come down to a game of compression, and I want to be... Because the thing with Nui is it doesn't search often. It draws a lot, but drawing isn't the same as compression, right? Because you could be drawing about the same ratios of all your cards, but... So effectively your deck at no point is getting particularly more biased towards triggers or non-triggers, but what this lets you do is just straight up search 2 out. So at that point, it's one of the only cards in the deck that actively shifts the level of compression the deck is looking at. So if you're going to try and grade 2 game, or people are going to try grade 2 game you, I reckon what happened with Nick is I don't think it was a court-named decision. I think he looked at his hand, went, I don't think I win this grade 2 game, I have to hope for the best, right up, and it just didn't pay off this time.
Yeah, so this is why I prefer ladder, because if you're forced into the position of I need to ride up into the mirror because I didn't see the revertices, would it have been... If that Forbidor was the ladder, you would have stopped 2 attacks, and unless that deck thinning directly resulted in checking 2 heals or defensive OT, stopping 2 attacks for the price of a net even feels significantly more valuable. But maybe it's for other matchups.
Yeah. I think in the end it probably came up to an attempt to try and play the game of compression. I just don't think it paid out this time.
Yeah.
But what we're probably going to be finding ourselves doing is, since round 2 is still going on, what we might find ourselves is going on a small intermission, and we will see you a little bit nearer to the next round. So in that case, we will see you guys fairly soon, and we'll see you in a moment. See you guys next round. Right, so unfortunately we are back at the moment for round 3, but we are going to have to change some parameters because we accidentally tapped a button too soon. In the meantime, it looks like we do have Ray here on LCFL from Divine Set 4 versus Dave, who's going to be on Shiranui by the looks of it.
Another Shiranui game.
And more Shiranui gamers.
So, this is quite an interesting matchup, don't you think?
It is, because we're going to have a deck who just thrives on aggroing people versus a deck that just can't be hit. 18k is a serious number, especially into Nui.
But also, the players that are playing, you have Dave Vact, who doesn't really need to be said, former world champion, and we have Ray. Ray won a V Premium last year at this very location.
Absolute world-class players. Like this is really going to be a crazy one.
This will decide. This game will be the deciding factor. Now, from personal, they're both good friends of mine. I like them both. So it's kind of hard to decide who I want to win.
I just want to see a good game.
I
think there's probably going to be announcing at the round is going to be starting fairly soon, but at the moment there's just going to be deciding who goes first. Now, the interesting thing here is we're probably end up finding Dave going second here, because you want to draw all those cards, right? But
Attention players. This is announcement that round 3 is starting
there
now.
we go.
Really?
Perfect. And there we go.
And good to go.
Good luck, guys. Well, the thing is you're going to see here, so we're going to probably see Dave going second here, and the interesting thing there is ECFL can start aggroing really early.
Also,
but Dave is going first, actually.
Dave is going first.
Ooh. Interesting. So I'm assuming Dave just foresees that. He knows that he's going to be looking at big numbers, and he goes, I'm going to need to be around for that. I'm going to have to make sure I can plus in time for that. Yeah, we're good. They're good. Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to have to start going for that. And, of course, we're going to be looking here. Ray, go.
That draw was the over trigger there. That is going to
rough in this matchup. Oh, interesting enough, we're looking at Ray riding the Ballista ride line. So he's going for some serious plussing here.
We love card advantage in this house. And is Ray going to push? He's just going to swing?
Yeah, he's just going to start swinging. So he's going no guard, and guard. That's a Persona ride, and Dave is unfortunately...
And an Elementaria gone as well.
Well, in fairness at least, this Elementaria, while we know LCFL does gain a drive check, it doesn't gain triple drive, which is a very important distinction for Elementaria.
I'm gonna call that Fura.
Dave is going to be drawing. He's going to be abusing the fact that he's going first. 8k to 8k does hit. And straight for the 10.
He's gonna go for 2 lines.
Ray's scared, he knows. Ooh.
And a Fura has been dropped, has been checked.
And he drops the 50 for that. Is Ray going to be guarding this as well?
I can see Ray no guarding this.
He takes, but it's the Resius, which is, in fairness, not the end of the world in this case.
Puffs. But he's gonna charge up. He's gonna discard for ride. Here's where the serious advantage happens from the Willis to ride line. And I don't know if Stream can't hear this, but the two of them they're having a good time. They're laughing. They're friends.
That's the best part about this game, though.
And that's what we like to see.
So let's see. What's Ray going to be putting? He's going to be putting this also. This is a new card from DZBTO4. Oh, DZBTO, Lyrical Set 1 rather.
That's Set 1.
And we're looking at a card that allows us. We're looking at a little demonic method, Valley, which is effectively going to allow us to Soul Charge 1, but importantly, for a deck that doesn't actually counterblast all that much, does allow us to draw a little bit. And again, we're going to keep talking about how Shiranui is going to keep aggroing. So being able to draw here, rather neglecting the draw, because you know that in this instance, you're going to be drawing 2 cards. Is that a Vashblon? Ooh, so that's another. So he's already drawing. He's going to be drawing 3 cards this turn? And swinging for 15? Ooh.
We do love drawing cards in this game. And he's gonna throw down more?
Yeah, so we're looking at the Striker. So because he played the order,
Ooh.
this is our generic grade 2 clone. What we're going to be looking at here is we're going to be looking at a top 5 that results in a brand new card being called. And the card we're going to be looking at here is Sway with the Swings Darthow, which allows us to, well, by the looks of it, going to be letting us countercharge and become a serious booster.
And will he call a second one? Is the second striker going to hit the board? He's thinking.
Ooh, so we're looking at the restander here. What we're looking at here is
he's aggroing.
Yeah, again, the brand new support card for Elysium. But we're looking at Albalia, which allows us to swing for some, again, serious numbers. We're looking at next turn, he's looking to swing for what, 15? And then resign for 25? Because, yeah, that's absolutely great. He's going to keep doing it. But, yeah, Dave just can't afford to be taking this level of damage. He's going to have to start playing it safe. Yeah, looking.
Yeah.
They're clarifying their numbers.
Just clarifying the numbers. I think Dave thought it was 15, but he's going to guard with a 15 regardless. And Ray must be loving that. Losing a 15 for a 5k block.
The rough thing here is Dave does seem to be hitting that defensive, though. Oh, no, not defensive, the PG and damage.
That's 2 PG on.
That's rough, especially again because we're looking at the triple driving deck. I mean, for the 15, Dave might just have to take it because he dropped a 15k earlier. Yeah. Yeah, he's showing, he just passed his turn because of that. Yeah, he just goes for it. Dave just rides up. Ray just goes, you know what, I'm not going to give you that damage because as we know, that grade 1 Dave is holding that. Every single copy of that is a card draw. And you can't let them tank. Yeah, unfortunately we do see the gate carry calling itself out and we do soul charge the Shenri here. But if we're lucky enough to see Dave call out a forward and Revertis, that Shenri's live again. See Dave, no, Dave just goes for the swings.
He's try-lining for 10.
I mean, 10 to 10 just works. He goes for crit. Ooh, this is big. 2 double critical. Oh, that is absolutely destructive to Ray. Ray just takes 2 damage straight away. No defense. Loses the Elementaria.
Loses Elementaria.
Which is so big in this game.
Goes to 4 and loses Elementaria.
Oh my god, this is
the world champ difference right here.
That is. With all this in mind, you too can be a world champion. Yeah, no, now Ray has to make some seriously tough decisions. Yeah, he's dropping a heal here. He's swinging for 20. The numbers, Mason. The numbers.
So it's interesting that Ray chose to no guard this because from where I'm from.
That's a front.
From the bird's eye view, I probably would have considered 2 to passing the Shiranui.
True. That's a while, yeah.
Because it's very unlikely this early on in the game Dave is going to go all on Van, and it does mean if Dave double dips on 1, you can use a 5k guard for the 10 and so you can save a little shield value. Now this does get punished if Dave decides to go greedy. I don't think most players will do that. I probably would have 2 to pass the Shiranui, and he had the 215, so it was something.
Well, but I think the interesting calculation on Ray's side might have been the fact that knowing his hand, what he might have felt that was a situation that if he, say he guards it, right, and commits that shield, if Dave then still checks those triggers, at least this line gives him a bit of an opportunity to get that shield back. Because should he have gone a defensive or two there, that would completely shut down one to both of those attackers, and I think that is probably a slightly better gamble than dropping 2 15s and then eating 3 damage anyway, or 2 damage anyway, or 3 in this case, and just checking no defensives. And I think then you're in a slightly worse spot. So then you just gotta take that gamble. So you trade a risk for information, which I think is
it's a valid consideration.
Yeah, so we see the Lisiafel coming down again. We're looking at a brand new Destined one from DZBT041. Again, one of our newest sets.
Girl MLB.
Absolutely, the rap god herself. So as we all know, the thing with Liafel is when she attacks, she allows us to absorb a column, and then allows us to gain 5k at the end of turn. Now, the thing as well, 5k as well per card put into Soul. And then her Divine Skill effectively allows us, against the drive, she's triple drive like we were saying. But as well as that, we're also going to be able to, once per game, make ourselves 2 crit for the rest of the game, and 18k base, which is actually
into
kind of
Shiranui is huge.
Yeah, you're looking at all these cards changing from 10k shields to 5k shields, and especially when we know how hard it is to get exactly 10k shields, especially for a deck like Shiranui, or for a deck like Liasfel and like a lot of other standard decks. The difference between 5 and 10 is pretty big, because it means you get to save those triggers for the restanders.
So Ray has got 1 heal out.
Oh, interesting. So Ray must be really protective of his columns, because we see a Persona right in the back row. If you zoom in at the back there, we can actually, if we pay attention and we look at Ray's hand, we can actually see the back row Lisiafel there. So he's committing a Persona ride really early. But he's trying to go for those numbers. Yeah, he's going for 13 plus 15, so we're looking at 18, we're looking at 15, 28?
Well, from Ray's perspective, he sees 2 PGs are gone. So being able, focusing on the numbers for Lisiafel, it's not a bad idea. You can get so and if it means losing 1 Persona ride, you mind he is at 4. The game isn't gonna gonna last much longer than 1 or 2 1 Persona ride.
Can we go for the CB1 effect? Oh, he hasn't played in order. He can't do it.
Yeah, he can't play it. He can't.
Because the thing with Strega is if you play this turn, you can CB1 draw a card and gain 10k, so it's crazy. But yeah, I think the interesting thing is his attack pattern, if you look. What we can see is because he's swinging boosted the first time, we can see he's going to be willing to commit effectively the back row plus something else to restand that front row. Because she's going to be 25k on her own. There you go. He wants to keep that board. He's putting a lot.
Oh, look at all this value.
He is committing a lot here. But I think you just go all in because you don't want to give them anything to dominate.
Yep.
And if you look at Ray's graveyard, what Ray's trying to make in his drop zone is, look, he's committing pretty small numbers. Because he wants that 18k base next turn to come in clutch. That is a blank, a twin cast, and a heal. Is that a heal? I believe that might be a critical, actually. Yeah, I believe we're looking at one of the new Lyrical vanilla crits. I believe it was introduced in Lyrical, so that would be the Quick Start decks, I believe. But again, new art, so we know more Patrolka support is something I'm always for. But yeah, you can see Dave going straight to 4 for that.
And no defensive.
But yeah, he also restands. You can see he's going so hard. He Divine Skills it. And he goes again. And so the interesting thing with the Divine Skills, he goes -2 drive. So because you retain the 1 drive, you stay on 1 and you go from...
You still get it.
Yeah, instead of going 2 to 0, you go 3 to 1. So Dave is not out of the woods just yet.
I'd be very scared if I was Dave. 2 PGs are gone.
And a 25k on the rear guard? It's not nothing. We're looking, Dave is not hitting defensives. That's a cycle and a festival collection grade 1.
But if we zoom into Dave's hand,
yeah, absolutely.
He's dropped the over trigger.
Ooh, it's pretty big.
We want to see the drive check.
1 drive. Oh, that's a critical. That is a critical trigger. That's 35k. 2 damage. Can Dave handle this?
Can Dave block this?
Can Dave muster the shield? He's got 5 on board. He needs 20k in hand. Does he have it? He might just.
He should have it, but
we're looking like he's got a shield.
It looks like he's got 2 triggers in hand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's willing to commit, and that's going to pass turn. But interestingly, again, we're looking at Ray just not giving him the board. Like, absolutely refusing to give him a board. Oh, and Dave looks like that's either a PG or a full rider, I suspect. And the interesting thing is, if we pay attention here, once Dave begins committing his board,
he's
looking at the graveyard.
So yeah,
our best option is this new grade 2. And is that really where you want to be calling off of that?
No.
Yeah, I think Dave will just refuse to give him grade 3s. I just don't think it's going to happen. You want to have all those cards be 5Ks. You want to be intercepting. You want to be clearing your board. Dave's thinking, he's like, can I do it? And he might just. He's discarding Esperidia to Stride. And yeah, we're going to be seeing, again, our good friend, my goat. Friendship over with Shiranui. And thankfully, Magen Tenbu is my new best friend. Again, what Magen Tenbu's going to let us do is he's going to let us dominate. And he's going to also be able to clear Ray's board, so he's not going to have those intercepts. And although Ray has Divine Skill, that's one more card out of hand.
So it's a good. This Magen Tembo is effectively taking asking for 10 shield. It's a 5k block, but then it retires the 5k interceptor.
Yeah.
So
in a way, you're actually.
Oh, he took the damage. Ray took the. Ray took
he takes the first one.
So that allows him to bounce his.
Ooh, is that a cycle card I'm seeing?
It
might just be. And again, cycle cards are so huge because in a matchup like this where 5Ks begin to matter, 5Ks that can replenish themselves are so valuable. And yeah, Dave just does not care. Dave just wants to draw everything. Dave, what can we say? Dave can be a very greedy player. If, I suppose that's how you make world champion, but if he sees it, he wants it, and he's gonna get it. Because if we look here, he's going all in.
Spending all that counterblast, we don't need any more counterblast. The game is over within the next stride, if that.
Do you think this game lasts past next turn? I don't think it could.
I think this would be Dave's penultimate stride turn. I think if Dave can, I honestly don't think Dave lives next turn.
I think he has to see so many triggers too, right?
Unless he checks triggers. He could check triggers. Anything can happen in Cardfight Vanguard.
Absolutely.
So like a heal would. But I think that's why Ray took the 5k hit.
Yeah, so we see Ray committing the trigger we saw earlier. So.
But Ray played that. I think Ray played that very, very well.
Double Furai.
Double Furai.
It's rough.
Slightly punished, but the numbers aren't that amazing.
25. That's not nothing. That's, in fairness, that's only 10k each. So again, if we see Ray seeing those 5ks that he can drop here.
I think Ray taking this was very smart. Him going to 5 turns off heal triggers, which means Dave is at.
And Lysiafel is 2 crit. And remember, she is 2 critical, and that's not going away.
1 OT is gone. 2 PGs are gone. Dave. So.
And we saw him drop a lot of triggers last time.
Ray is gearing up for this to be Dave's final turn. But I think taking that attack, knowing he can guard 2 Furais, brilliant play on his end.
It's fascinating because the 5k here is really cool. So actually, it's on. So we can see him pitching a first check, nothing.
Blank, a
cycle,
5k, and a.
That's a heal.
That's a heal.
So again, exactly like you said, it comes up.
It came up. Ray playing around the heal. I think he would struggle to kill from 3.
Yeah.
But now, from 4.
Yeah, absolutely. That's again 2 crit based Lysiafel. And I think the interesting thing as well is not only is this exactly the thing you want to see out of top tier players like Ray and Dave, but the fascinating thing with Lysiafel's plus 5k is it doesn't actually come up this turn. It comes up next turn because next turn Dave is going to be trying to go for the Shiranui stride, right? But in this case, where you're going to see Ray doing, Ray guards it, and he can probably guard the last one, right?
That looks like a PG.
I don't think it is.
Zoom into Ray's hand.
Oh no, that is We're looking at Ellie here.
He's deciding what to discard.
And he's trying to. What is he going to go? Trying to build a board, or is he going to go with the Persona Ride? This is a real gamble. He's discarding the builder board, so he's going to bank it all on a Vanguard swing. You hope that Persona Ride pulls you all the way. But the thing is, right? But at the moment, if Dave goes for the Shiranui next turn, his Furais are 30k. The reason that matters is right now.
That was possibly the worst draw he could have ever asked for.
But for the Persona Ride, that's a trigger as well as a crit.
That was. But Ray's hand is in his face right now. He knows what he just drew.
You got to go for the EB7. Surely you must. And I mean, if you're Ray at this point, do you just commit a full board and just go, I'm going to go out swinging no matter what? Because all of them are going to hit, right? Like, they might be intercepts, but that also means Dave loses his Furais. So, I mean, you're banking on a heal, but it could come up.
Let's try and zoom in on Dave's hand. Let's see.
If we get a little glimpse of Dave's hand here, we can actually probably get a good sense of never mind. And we can go he's thinking, I think you have to call something here, right? I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
the
that's
the overture.
So that's what he drew from the 6th card. That was his draw for turn. He would have 6th damage. We.
Unfortunately, this is one of those cases where you're punished for trying to play around it. But again, overtrigger is part of the game, and Dave just going to drop it. He's not even going to energy blast for it.
He doesn't have the energy for
Well,
it.
there's no counterblast either, I suppose. Yeah, so I mean that's one thing in Ray's favor, is those 5Ks don't get full utility out of Dave.
I know. It's not
But
looking.
he keeps being 5Ks, and he's just got to do it. And Dave might just have it. You got to go big number, and you hope Dave doesn't have the PG. But unfortunately,
He
Dave
does. 2 PGs were out, but he had the 1 in hand.
But we do have the triple drive, and it's 3 blanks.
3 blanks as well.
That is brutal. That is so brutal. Oh, this is going to be a real upset. I think this might be, like you were right, might just be Dave's finale. I think you just revive anything, and I think it's just over.
Going back to the race decision to take the 5K, that 5K difference.
I just realized last turn his decision to discard. You know how he kept the Persona Ride? The other card allows him to check top X call. So the other card he discarded could have actually been so important right now, because the card he effectively looked at is, I believe it's called Call and Response. It allows us to just rest a rear guard. So unfortunately, whatever he top decks would be utilized for it, which would have been a trigger in this case. You look at top 3, but you get to call something. And as we know, that would have allowed to call maybe a Resius to buff that thing up by 10k. It would have been the counter charge, so it becomes at least a big column. So you do lose the Persona Ride, but you pray, right?
But he didn't have Persona Ride, so he would have lost the Persona Ride power. He would have lost he wouldn't have had a body on board.
Well, Resius this would still amount to two pieces, right?
But one of them's rested. He
Sure.
lost the rear guard.
Yeah, but then you suck them up to salt, right? I suppose that would be your goal.
Yeah, but
Well, because then the argument would be that if Dave didn't have the PG, in a world where he doesn't, we can see, unfortunately, this is just was not winnable for Ray. But the really interesting thing was, had he given the power to the Vanguard there would have been, had Dave not had the PG, Alan Wee just forces all that shield out, knowing that it's over otherwise. But, unfortunately for Ray, this was going to be
I think
the end of the line.
I think Ray didn't play around the double Furai, and to be perfectly honest, with the deck, Dave's the standard list for Nubtama is on 8 restanders, so it's not I don't think it's an impossible ask to expect 2 restanders on the first turn, especially with how Dave was guarding. So maybe it was correct to just to play to take the Furai swing, because it was take the Furai swing instead. But if he checked a defensive off that dominated swing, we wouldn't have had this issue. So maybe Ray playing to the defensive was the better option. It's hard to say. I think it depends on how you want to look at it. Ray lost because he couldn't build a board on the following turn, and the reason he couldn't build a board was because he was forced to use a lot of cards in his hand to guard, because he took a 5k swing that he didn't have to take. So that, in hindsight, but equally that could have rewarded Ray heavily if he checked a single defensive.
Just one. That's all it took.
They've also had that double crit at the start, though, really did change the tempo of the game. I personally think, though, guarding the Shiranui swing was the moment.
Yeah, that was the
that
big swing.
game.
Yeah.
I probably would have 2 to pass, especially if I had the 215s in hand. But it is unfortunate. But happy for Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. Again,
Brilliant
fantastic
player.
game for good players. But the interesting thing as well, because I know you were saying it earlier, the interesting, I think what Ray was banking on is if he gets a defensive. Bear in mind, he's only been seeing many triggers this game, right? If he gets a defensive on that first swing, no Furai's hit anymore. It is 28k base. Nothing is happening anymore. So I think the trade-off of if anything happens here, this turn is over.
Do we how many triggers did we see from Ray prior to that? He didn't check any defensives on the double crit, but he used two crits. A heal and a crit. Apologies. A heal and a crit to block the two rear guards. So that's 2 that we knew out. We knew that he drove check a heal, so it was 3 that we know. He also guarded an early swing with a crit, I believe, from memory. So it was 4 triggers out, so 12 triggers in deck, on quite a thick deck.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you just accept that you probably aren't checking the heal and try and conserve the shield, conserve the hand to play around the double foray. If they don't have the double foray, it feels bad, but I think the only world Ray was losing that game was a double foray, so I think he should have played that out rather than the heal out. Or, and I think that would have worked better in his favour. But if he checked a defensive, he would have won.
The game's over, yeah.
The game was over.
So the thing is, if you think about it, that's 4 more cards he would have had in hand, and a PG. Because you PG the Vanguard, right? But like you have 4 more cards in hand. Yeah. So like you just chill at that point. Like nothing happens to you. Like you just don't die. But that's the thing with LCFL. It just has that matchup continuity where, if you think about it, had Dave not damaged him when he did, there was a decent chance he was going to get a defensive there, and then he's just unbeatable.
I do definitely think Ray was. I think Ray was in the driving position of that game until that double
until
crit.
That no guard, yeah. But that just emphasized how small, tiny little decision you make. Like 3 turns ago can really come back to bite you in Vanguard. Yeah, it's absolutely. Really rough. But again, like those kind of things are exactly what separates the best players that we have from the people trying to go for that crown. And yeah, like I'm hoping we get to see them again in top 8. That'd be a cool rematch.
I want to see Dave in top 8. I want to see Ray top 16.
Oh God, yeah.
Top 16.
The habit.
We're so used to Europe being top 8, but top 16 and the new change. I believe in Ray is a brilliant player. He will bounce back from this loss.
Oh yeah.
And he will win. He will win every single game from now on.
It's just that easy. Just don't lose.
And just don't lose.
Just win 5.
Sometimes you need to lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to.
The undefeated curse.
The undefeated curse is real. So.
Unfortunately, we can't have people play plants for 16 rounds and then win.
Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think, surprisingly enough, that was. Yeah, I know a lot. So this is actually something interesting. So, a lot of people were fairly concerned when time got shortened for standard. One of the big concerns was that we're going to be going to double game loss a lot, and the format is slowing down. Next set we're going to be seeing things like Levagers coming up. We see LCFL, which is a tankier deck. We see Impuldio, which again is a scaling deck. You're looking at decks that can output a lot of aggro early, but can take a little bit of time to get going sometimes. And yet, we're seeing all these games ending fairly quickly. Which is a bit of an odd one, actually. But
I also think lots of good players are just playing faster.
Yeah.
Once you're comfortable with your deck, you can just play faster. And I think people have taken that initiative. And that's great to see. I love when people play fast. I'm not a patient person, so but that's great to see. But yeah, I'm good luck to Dave and good luck to Ray for the next rounds. I'm rooting for Ray for the rest of this. My goat will pull through.
Mr. Lithuania himself. That's the thing, because at the end of the day, like looking at these decks coming out, especially like looking at LCFL from set 4. And as cool as those decks are, Nui has been out for almost a year, and it's still putting up results.
If you brought the new Shiranui deck when that on release,
or if you still find it at your local store, some still have it to this day.
Like you've had
a tier 1
deck,
like a year
for a year.
Christ.
So
unkillable. What's it like? Been hit 3-4 times now?
It's So it had the Shiranui, it had the overtrigger hits.
Rydek twice.
The Rydek,
Shiranui, and then we have the Fura hit in America.
Yeah.
Oh, in Japan.
In Japan. So we haven't got the Fura hit, yet. So, but whether or not that changes things is remains to be seen.
Absolutely.
I think it is just showing the strength of how good Fura the restanders are, turning you into a 7 attack deck.
Potentially 10?
No OT.
Oh no! You are killed. No.
So seven attack deck, potentially 8 with Peloti. Well, no, you can't even do that. No, so it's only
just 7. Yeah,
only 7.
Only 7.
Only 7.
Look, all I'm saying is, Sutorei proves that Vanguard is at its best when you have a grade 4 unit that leaves the Vanguard circle at the end of turn. That's all I'm saying.
We need to see some Luard repping here. I miss Luard. I just wanna.
You know, actually, speaking of Luard, recently we had set 3. We haven't had events since then, and set 3 did give Luard the undercover support. So Luard now has a searchable Ezrex.
So will they? But will that see play? Will people? I do know some very good players are on Luard. We'll find out if that converts.
Yeah, as you know, as we see decks speeding up, will Luard be able to slow it down enough to kind of make it like a hospital environment for itself? Because the thing with Stride decks is they go forever. They just scale. They keep going up. Numby go up to the moon.
When the numbers go up, we're all happy. I like my numbers big.
Number. Dopamine. Luard. But I think if the round is still going on, I reckon we probably take a little
have a small intermission.
Small intermission, and we will probably be seeing you guys next round.
Yeah.
See you soon, guys.
Ciao.
Ciao. I would like to welcome everybody back to round 4 of BCS Vienna.
We are back. Players have gotten to post mulligan, so they're checking, make sure their hands are as good as they can be.
Interestingly enough, this round is looking to be a Shoujo Doji mirror for us.
One of the top decks of the format. We were expecting a mirror. We've already had a Nui mirror, so the other DE deck of the format.
The non-stride deck,
the non-stride deck.
Also, interesting enough, so of course, as we know, Shoujo Doji recently got support in DBTO3, and again, this is the first event in Europe where that set is legal. And, you know, this is one of the most non-linear decks in Standard right now. It's super interesting. So what you're seeing is Shoujo Doji rides his grade 1, and of course, as we all know, what that grade 1 allows us to do is top 7, find 2 stealth units, and put one to soul and bind the other.
Yeah.
Or top 5, I believe, actually. So what we see is he's putting the Kinran in the bind zone, putting the Ojigishi into soul, or is it the other? Might be the other way around. I might be blanking.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing it.
It's the Ojigishi, and yeah.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
And so, as all mirrors do, users thinking about doing the same thing.
Can you believe him? What a creative play.
This has never been seen in the history of Vanguard. So yeah, it's top 5. We see some good hits. We see some very good hits.
So we're seeing. Okay, so what we're going to be seeing here is most likely going to be the unprecedented getting bound, getting already set up, and then the Tsukuyodachi going to soul, and then immediately being bound for another card. Absolutely insane. And unfortunately, that's a crit, but that's not a big deal.
That's
we
okay.
survive.
Crits. We can soul charge crits. And then he's thinking about Russian. Yeah, and he's gonna be calling them down.
It's the Raiden Kunai and the
oh.
Interesting to see the Shenry this early on. That actually isn't a card that we see very often anymore.
And they're checking a PG there with no defensives on and damaging a Persona Ride. But it doesn't really matter.
Rough.
They can add Persona Rides back later. So as long as they get the first one, that should be fine.
It's the second card. Well, the interesting thing here actually is we still have our I'm blanking on his name. There we go. We could potentially still be seeing our copy of Isasao here, still allowing us to draw cards off of our top 5, just straight filtering.
Speaking of which,
and he sees another. So this actually, not only does he see the Isasao, he sees also the Tsukuyodachi. This is a promo that recently got reprinted in Festival Collection, and again, that's going to go to soul. That's going to bind itself, setting up for next turn, and he's going to get to top 5, look for a stealth unit,
and hopefully he finds something good.
He sees some Raiden Kunais and a Kinran. Kinran is a very strong card here, allowing us to put a whole column into soul in order to be able to add a card from drop to hand. But you just go get that back. Why not?
What that tells us is he didn't have another grade 3 and he didn't have the other Shoujo Doji in hand in the first place. And now the fact that he can secure it, brilliant.
Because you don't want to rely on that healer. Because otherwise his only line is what? Committing his Kinrans early? Okay, so that's Raiden Kunai. So he's going to commit it, but you're probably not going to go very far. Raiden Kunai next turn will allow us to countercharge. So he's going to be able to very liberally counterblast until then. That's why what we often see from Doji players is binding the grade 1 or 2 from the Ride deck next turn. And unfortunately, that is a
Ooh, that is big. That is the brand new Caliburn introduced in Festival Collection.
One of my favourite cards coming out for
Options. Options are always great. It allows you to draw 2 cards, or Soul Charge and Counter Charge. Counter Charge being the real operative factor here, because what we're able to do with Doji is attack extend and attack extend, especially in the mirror. We see the Raiden Kunai still here. He's top 5. Ooh, let's see what his top 5 is looking like. His top 5 could be proving a little difficult. What are we looking at? We see some triggers. Triggers could be options, but likewise, because, you know, apparently we're not copying enough here, we are seeing another Ojigishi coming out. And again, that goes to Soul. The Kinran gets called out. And he has the CB for it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the counter charge anymore. Not this turn, at least.
Not this turn, but
oh, in fact, he wasn't going to until next turn. But Tsuki actually goes to hand.
A good hit.
Next turn, if he has that Kinran, swing, Soul, Vanguard extend. He can just do that in this game. This matchup is insane. Like, Doji is such a dominant deck. What do you think? What do you reckon?
Going to try? I think he's thinking about tri-laning right now. Yeah.
Hey, just go. Do you reckon you try ever swing for the Isazao here?
Yeah, I think he'll.
Yeah, there we go.
for
First thing. He goes OT, and he says Ojigishi to hand. Ojigishi, of course, next turn, allowing us to do something that this deck wants a lot.
Going to 3 here.
That's
quite
right.
high, especially into Shoujo, where defensives do help with a lot of the early numbers. So it is quite interesting that he's at 3, and how this game state will change.
What kind of options are we looking at here? So, the odds are he has the Ojigishi in hand. He's got another Isazao. Of course, Ojigishi here is a super important card introduced in set 3, allowing us to just for free top 5 for Doji and just gain 5k. And then if you put it into Soul, you can counter +1, put 2 counts from the bind zone into the drop zone, because of course Doji returns the cards back into the hand. But importantly, it gives your front row 5k continuously. Just you, the player.
It helps that that number problem, which I said earlier with defensives.
Yeah. That might be why he's going for it. I think he might just try and go for the attack extension here. And yeah, he's looking for some strong binds. Yeah, he's looking at what to bind, and yeah, he's going to be giving us what's he giving us? He's giving us the Ojigishi, plus what seems to be the grade 1 from the ride line. So it looks like he's going to try and get that booster going. And on top of that, is he going to give us the grade 2 as well? He is.
It looks like.
Yeah, so what you can see there is, of course, he's going to want to resolve those two Tsukiadachis in the bind zone. He's going to want to resolve that Ojigishi, and that's going to be 3 damage. And, you know, you might think to yourself, how do we get there? Well, of course, when he calls something from the bind zone, that Raiden Kunai is going to trigger, and that's going to countercharge for him. Now, unfortunately, there is one weird thing about the placement here. With Raiden Kunai being behind the Vanguard, it could mean that the lines end up being a little bit awkward. But we can see what he can generate. He might even opt to bind it. But, of course, Raiden Kunai, one of the neat things about it, yeah, we're going for the Isasao here for the draw. But what Raiden Kunai lets us do, which is kind of nifty, actually, is once you're attacked, he can just call himself out. He's a 10k shield. And, you know, we were talking about it last game about just how important 10k shields are in this format. And I don't know, do you think it really comes up here if they don't get the Ojigishi procs?
Yeah, I think the 10k I think the 10k is fine here. So re-adding the Persona Ride there.
Yeah, the Kimran, just a strong card.
One. Choosing the brilliant choice. It does mean those cards that do get bound will probably end up coming back, but that's fine.
Well, so the only exception here is because we don't see the Ojigishi, so he's trying to go for the extensions early. Yeah, so you can see there, he's just committing to it now, so that's going to be a 15k swing. What the Kinran actually allows us to do, and remember this is super important, unlike Ojigishi, no CB, you can bot deck things.
Yeah.
So, knowing that Tsukidachi is in circulation, he can just throw it out of there. Yeah. He's not going to give him the bind because he doesn't want the on place, but you're just going to try and whittle him out. Because his bind zone has 1, which means he's really restricted in terms of attack extensions he can do. Normally you'd need 2. And here you can see he's going to go bind that front row, so that's just swinging for a raw 10.
Now he's going to 3 damage here.
And unfortunately, it's kind of rough. He's going for those binds. He's calling them. He's calling out the full column. So, okay, what we're clearly going to be trying to do here. Ojigishi and Kinran are going to go to Soul. You're going to grab something and then call the Tsukidachi into the other column. All triggers on that grade 1 Shoujo Doji. Because, of course, this is super relevant in this meta. The brand new Shoujo Doji. When he's attacked or is attacking, you Energy Blast 3, put 2 up to 3, when he attacks, you put 2 Grey Gods into your Soul, and then you may choose to call up to 2 stealth units from your bind zone, 1 to the front, 1 to the back. So you can't quite make 5 attacks out of it, but Vanguard being Vanguard, we do get our alliance to be able to generate new boards, like right now. Putting 2 in. Of course, the Tsukidachi sees that, and he calls himself out.
They're just confirming the plays that happened, making sure all the correct counterblast has been used.
Yeah.
And that's always an important thing to do. If you are new to tournaments, keep track of what your opponent is doing.
Yeah.
It is, mistakes happen. You want to, and
Ooh, that's a heal.
that's a heal.
That is going
that's
to resolve.
A huge heal.
That is, in a game like this where poking is everything, that's crazy. Heal straight to 2, and is the second card going to be a Kinrun? That's set up. And his opponent says Ojigishi, which is, you never want to see that. Not in this matchup.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
And he drops the crit, and he takes it again.
And he's going to 5. He's
It's
at
already
5.
kunai. And the thing is, I think this would be a super threatening turn, if not for the fact he just healed.
Yeah. So now 5 damage into 2 damage. What can Gabriele do here?
Really needs to watch. So you have to assume he has like 2 Ojishis in hand, right? But he doesn't. He discards it. What is happening? What is? Well, he has one in Soul, I believe, from earlier, doesn't he?
Yes, he has one in Soul.
If we're gonna be able to look at his hand in a moment, we're gonna get to see what's in his soul there. So we're looking at Shenri. Oh, there we go, and it goes away now. He's thinking, oh, it looks like he does have the overdrive in his hand.
That is in his hand.
But it should be kind of big in this game because it's just a shield, right? Because if he's gonna give him all the CB to work with, which he can take, he's on 2. Right, Accel's on 2. So what he can really do here is commit all that CB, get massive, and just come back from that.
Yeah, but if he commits too hard and pushes Accel too hard, Accel is going to have more damage to work with himself, and that damage is going to go further because Gabriele's on 5.
Yeah, at this point, every poke is it. So do you reckon Gabriele's really banking on the heals here?
I think
You have to, right?
I would be thinking, okay, what is the way I can minimize the amount of damage I can take while still playing to heals. You also, if possible, need to look at what's in your hand and go, how much damage what can my opponent do with every counterblast, and what's the most I can push him.
Yeah, look, he's trying to go all out. So he commits that grade 2. It's going to become 15k, which is important in this matchup. And then, goes to Tsukudashi, and he's probably going to go Kinrun behind it. But that Raiden Kunai, again, for next turn, setting up that 10k shield.
3 cards in hand, it looks like things.
Yeah, and the one interesting thing with Tsukudashi, the reason we see them making the columns that they do, is because while Tsukudashi goes to Soul from Bind or Rearguard, from Deck or Rearguard binds itself to Soul Charge 1, it doesn't actually see itself go to Bind Zone. Meaning, in order to attack extend off of your Kinruns, you need to see another Tsukudachi that sees the 2 cards go to Soul.
He just guarded from the Bind Zone.
Yeah.
With
Raiden Kunai. That's just how it's going to go. Yeah, you just don't want to be giving them those 5Ks. They're pieces. They're important pieces.
And unfortunately, Gabriele won't be able to do this. Won't be able to do the same thing. 1, because no kunais, but 2, Persona Ride numbers. The numbers are going to matter. And when you're at 5, looking into Shoujo's turn,
you just want to hit to connect. And roughly, you might be wondering why is Accel so reluctant to discard things? Well, the trouble is, it's a card that people only run few copies of. We are looking at running a card that allows you to put cards from Soul from drop, and this is your only way of doing that, which does mean it becomes a really tough game.
I think he is.
Again, we're seeing this attack pattern out of people coming out. You're making a call that it's going to be able to He calls the Tsukudachi to potentially back row, which is not crazy because you want to make sure you can activate the defensive skill without it being interacted with. Yeah, there you go. He soul charges it and immediately goes in.
I think he'll be looking at no guarding there. At least what I would be considering.
Yeah, I mean, even double critical is rough, but
then a double critical puts you to 5.
Yeah,
it's the safest.
That's 2 to pass. That's a front. That's pretty big. And the second is, unfortunately, a Shenri. But Shenri does allow us to do next turn. Yeah, we're going to be able to see a card go in. He's going to be able to add a card from Soul later, and he's definitely going to counterblast.
That's
a critical, unfortunate, but actually that's pretty big in this case.
Is the open damage. So him choosing not to take the Vanguard is quite interesting because most Shoujo players would attack it the second time. So Accel could be thinking maybe I only need 1 damage to close out the game.
Well, could it be a case where perhaps you don't want to risk getting double healed and taking the damage anyway, so you just kind of ensure that doesn't happen?
Ensure it doesn't happen.
Because if you get double crit, you're miserable. If they double heal, you're miserable. But if they double heal and you took it, now you're also on 3. So you just give them too much space to equalize the playing field.
But equally, the same thing would have happened if he had guided that and double healed. He still would end up taking that.
Well, yeah, but then he'd be on 3, right? So like, even if he can guard the rest, I think it commits a little too much, and you can't afford to be equal. Especially because if you're Gabriele, right, your concern is that you put yourself in an equal position, but then you have to survive their turn, and that's going to be rough.
So he did end up taking this attack. So now he's at 4. He's at 4 damage.
And the thing is, as well, the weird thing is, Doji mirrors are actually so strange. You almost never get the defensive skill off. Because remember, Doji's main phase skill that allows you to bind 3 cards from Soul also binds 2 cards onto your opponent's circles and a card from their hand. And while they all go back to their hand, that's a lot of information you're giving them, right? We're looking at Kinran Ojigishi, and is that a Persona Ride I'm looking at? That could very well be a Persona Ride. No, we're looking at 2 Ojigishis.
2 Ojigishis. That is rough.
So I actually don't know about you. One of my favorite things about this deck, especially like the way Doji is played now, is between your binds, your existing bind zone, and what your opponent gives you, there's actually a lot of mind games going on. Because, for example, if your opponent is, say, a Zolga, and they give you a Kutir, are you really going to bother bot decking their things? Does it not shift your priorities in terms of what to bot deck? They might not even. They might have another one. They might have nothing. They might just. You're trying to warp their turn just with information alone, which doesn't happen. Doesn't happen as often anymore. And I think it's really interesting to watch.
We just.
Ooh, important. There might be a PG there. And if your hand runs low,
it is interesting that he chose to do that.
Grabs it, yeah.
Because I think him playing for the defensive shows that he probably doesn't have the attack extension to kill.
Yeah. Which is scary because Gabriele, if Gabriele draws the hand,
yeah,
they can just go all out, and there's just nothing Accel's going to be able to do about it, really.
So that him activating the counterburst there shows maybe he doesn't have the attack.
The endless supply of Tsukiodachis and maybe Kinrans are nothing to scoff at. They get really big, really scary. And we do see the Raiden Kunai coming out, so yeah. Like, there is a world where Raiden Kunai procs after all of your attacks and is just affecting the last Tsukiyodachi. Give it that extra 5k, that extra counter charge. It's huge. It can be big.
Can Accel win? Can Accel? I think that this is the turn where the game will be decided by this turn. If Accel does not close out this game,
I think they're basically dead.
I think Accel.
If Gabriele has any ability to pop off, it's over.
Yeah.
It's a Kinran, and ooh, that could be big. That could be so big. So yeah, this is the kind of line where you're going to see the Aces outcome. You're going to see a full column. You're going to see a new column recalled. You're going to see a lot of extension going on here, and you'll see that they're all very significant numbers.
That Persona Ride.
Yeah, I think that's one of the deck's great strengths. Just because of Kinran being what he is, you're always on Persona Ride. It's so rare for you to not be that it's really frightening.
I think let's see if we can look at Gabriel's hand to get a quick glimpse. He just put his hand down, but
he's got 2 PGs, Tsukiyodachi, and an Ojigishi. That's a lot.
That's a lot of inefficient guarding. PGs are 2-card guards.
There we go. We're looking at Vanguard swings. We see up front. Of course it is. He can't afford to take it. I noticed that the boost came out straight away. That's a heal. So again, you're looking at 28k swing, and he has to give the extra 5. He just has to. Again, this is decks like we were talking about earlier, Luciafel. That 5k really starts coming up in standard. If you think about it, this would have been a 15-card guard instead of a 21, and that's 2 cards.
Soul charging a draw.
Hey, that happens. Yeah, there you put to soul. It might seem a little wasteful, but your goal right now is make a big column. That's all you want. Because what you're going to be creating here is you're going to create a column, and at the end of it, you're going to counterblast 1, you're going to call out that Tsukiyodachi. we soul charge.
Soul charge it.
And and that's an unprecedented. That's a good setup for next turn. If by some miracle Accel survives this turn, actually that's strange. We haven't seen Unprecedented yet.
Unprecedented has not been seen at all.
The deck's biggest attack, and no one's seen it. It's odd that neither of them opted to bind it last turn, because I believe Gabriele had access to it. Did he not?
I didn't see it.
I believe he soul charged it off his grade 2.
That overtrigger in his hand is coming up. It's
grade 1 actually.
Crit. So a crit is huge. He has 2 cards in hand. So Accel needs to be counting. What is the biggest possible combination of shields?
And as we know, the strongest card in this game, the critical trigger, allows you, when it's resolved, to make a card deal 1 more damage.
And can he guard this last? Can he guard this last attack?
He goes counterblast 1.
The last 2 attacks. With
Absolutely
1 card.
going for it. That's another critical, unfortunately, but swings Tsukidachi for 25, I believe.
Yeah.
And unfortunate. Very unfortunate, but we do see Gabriele Papin losing this game. Accel taking the lead. And
we have
absolutely crazy game coming up.
It's popping up and just closing out the game.
Yeah, that stuff. Absolutely crazy doji games. It's so weird that in a deck that touts its consistency so much, no one saw Unprecedented. Everyone opted not to pick it. Because I believe that we saw Gabriel soul charge on turn 1.
Yes.
Because we thought we could call it if he saw it, because he drew a card on turn 2, so it must have been turn 1. And just nothing. We didn't go for it. And Itsuki didn't have the CV for it, right?
Yeah, he had that.
I wonder if drawing that extra card would have made that difference. It might have done, actually.
So, no, his last card in hand was I think it was a 5k shield. So I don't think it would have mattered.
Not in this case.
Not in this case. And if he 6 damage shield, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's just unfortunate. I think the game was just set. Okay,
there we go.
Back.
Sorry, guys. We
Some
had
more technical problems with the stream, but we are back. So just to recap what happened last time. The Shoujo Joji player won. Whoa.
My face when? When the deck is mirror.
when
the mirror is matched.
When the mirror is matched. But yeah, we had Gabriele unfortunately lose the matchup. High damage early game, sort of sealed it out.
Happens, yeah.
That's really. It was quite interesting going for the e-show to sort of add cards back, even when it wasn't needed. I think that's a small sort of issue. But if it didn't increase the ceiling, then it's fine.
Well, it's like what we were saying just before we left. Like we found it interesting that like nobody went for their Unprecedented. Like it's a draw, it's a big beta, and like no one did it. It was so odd. But I'm sure the players had the reason. I'm just trying to like in my head figure out what that could be. Right?
It didn't affect the game state because couldn't guard anyway.
Yeah.
So I think players at this level, especially this with this current score that they've got, they were probably aware of that the board state, the numbers wouldn't have mattered, and just to focus on other factors.
Yeah.
They play that very well, and I look forward to some more really good games of Cardfight Vanguard.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the round is still ongoing. That round lasted, I think, 20 or so minutes. I think so,
25 or so minutes.
Yeah, I believe that's the timing on standard now, isn't it? 25 minutes.
30 minutes around. 30 minutes, no extra time.
And 35 for premium, is it?
I think we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you'll find out tomorrow by tuning in to the Echo CPG.
Hopefully less technical difficulties. Hopefully.
So I cannot wait. I want to see what more standard people have picked up. What do you think will be our next round? What are your expectations? We're round 5, right? We're going into
top
round
tables.
5. We're at top tables now. So we have. We're looking at people that are XO,
X1, X2, yeah. Top 16 as well.
It is a top 16. So I think top 16. I think it will be dominated by the red decks. Your Shoujos, your Nuis.
Very possible, yeah.
But what rogue decks? We've seen the Shoujos, we've seen the Nuis. What rogue decks are we going to get?
God, I reckon so. It's hard to tell because we all have our preconceptions of what rogue decks are, but with a new set having come out and us not having sets really since DZ1, I mean, what was last Springfest? Set 1, right?
Oh, yes. Set 1.
That's really our last point of reference, so we've had a lot change up since then. So, oh, sorry. I am dying. Having like 3 sets worth of changes, that's a lot. It's hard to gauge, we all have our... Sorry,
we had Philip.
I am big man. I kick big Slovenian man.
Top deck heroes.
Small deck heroes.
Small deck heroes, more like.
He wishes he was as small as this. But no, so the funny thing is, because we don't know what is really meta at the moment, it's a lot of kind of it's interesting. If you talk to different local communities, they have such wildly different concepts of what makes a good deck, and none of them are per se wrong. They can all justify it.
No, if they're different from mine, they're wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, the best deck in Vanguard is Blue Dofi, but Bob Rucci. But the thing is, with that being said, maybe Luciafel, maybe Alden.
I could see Luciafel. That deck felt very clean when Ray was playing it. The deck felt incredibly clean. Felt pretty consistent, especially with the amount of early draw that you have.
And just Alden as a deck is so fast. I feel like it just clutch games out, right?
Yeah, Alden can be very scary if you get rushed.
Does it remind you of Zazan at all? Sometimes you just rush people so quickly.
There we have it as the end of round.
Yeah.
So if players have not finished their rounds,
Well, they have now.
They have now.
Finish your round, or else.
Or else it's a sweet double loss. Do you think this because this is the first Europe BCS with this rule change of immediate double loss?
Yeah.
Do you think this will affect what decks get into Top Cut? Because you could if you're on X1 and you are, you will top now, but you're in a slow. Maybe you get into a slow matchup.
Yeah.
Double loss happens. Now neither of you will top.
Do you want to come say hi?
We have a giant approaching, a very big man.
Big man Ting.
Big man Ting.
Look, he's hot.
He is hot.
What's the thing, Philip? Actually, how do you feel about this? Do you reckon that the new time rules, double game loss, will affect the decks that make top gun?
Yes.
Because I feel like it kills hostage loss, for example.
Yeah, because those decks work on deck out, waiting until your opponent just decks out. But when games are short, you can't wait
for Alden.
But also, if it could just be you could be playing 2 players that are maybe playing fast decks. Maybe just by the sheer nature of the game, sometimes heals happen, over triggers happen.
Yeah.
Maybe those 2 players that were X1 suddenly get double lost, and now those people are out of.
Whenever decks come to 5 cards left in deck, the game's gone long enough. That's in the 30-minute mark.
I agree. Games should end faster. We should make more over triggers.
One of my friends in the premium BCS couldn't take the deck he wanted to take because of the time rules. He took a Genesis hostage. I'm gonna call over your units constantly during your guard step as well,
Just
and
say
deck you
Fenrir
out.
Mill, it's fine.
Exactly. But he was full on damage, and I just keep calling, decking you out. But he couldn't play that because the games were too short.
Not to talk about premium too much because this is the standard stream. I'm incredibly excited for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's so people cooked so hard.
And I stopped doing the splits now.
You can stop doing the splits.
No, keep it up.
Such
Those
a big
balls
man,
look
you
heavy,
are
kid.
very,
Can I hold them
you
for
are very
you?
flexible.
Yeah, people forget what his background is. The man almost played NBA basketball.
Yeah.
Unhinged shit. We almost had I know people what was his name? Ray Fisher, the guy from the guy that plays Cyborg in Justice League.
Yeah.
He used to play Metalborgs. So it's we thought he was going to be our biggest celebrity. Could have been Philip.
Could have been
in the NBA, man. We could have had an NBA player with makes Vanguard content on the side.
Instead of top deck heroes, top dunk heroes.
Whoa! Next set. Rebrand.
Next set, new rebrand. Philip, reach out to me if you want to rebrand.
Philip, you can have this idea on us.
I do take commission, but we can discuss rates later.
Actually, speaking of commissions, if people like the way that this stream looks,
you
do have Philip to thank for it, because, by God, I do not have the eye for graphic design.
Absolutely.
This man made this thing look so nice, and to be fair, I'm actually, I will say, to take a moment, the one thing I have found really heartwarming about this whole thing was how willing people are to
help.
Yeah.
Like support in the sense of like even like helping us get set up, lending us equipment, giving us this space. I mean, people haven't seen this. You probably see this in the vlog, but like there is space here.
Yeah.
This thing has not existed before in Europe. People have like equipment, support, overlays, the incredible decklog interactions all being fuzzy. Like there's so much stuff, and it sounds like we're gonna get our new pairing fairly soon. So
Thank you, Mash, for announcing this.
thank you, Mash, for not letting me have a moment. This is why men can't open up.
This is so rude of him.
So real. I can't believe it. Men just want to be vulnerable, and like Mash does this.
We will disqualify you from all events.
Oh,
Thank you, Mash.
that's a little bit of Francis in it, right there.
That was the Francis.
BCS event, if you're planning to take part in any of
You
the
should drop
side
yourself now.
That was
Your event run serves zero purpose.
that was a big threat from Mash. If you heard that.
You should be in my Navi conceding to me daily.
Good job, Mash. Lay down the law. Don't let them tell you what to do.
Don't let those filthy sackers tell you otherwise.
Good job, Mash. You were
big
very
man.
dominant.
Oh my god, Ribbit man!
It's Mash.
Oh!
He's here. The head judge himself.
Oh my god.
You saw it.
Is this big man? Is this big man's big
And
man thing?
this is the head judge of the hour.
Ribbit.
Oh!
Ribbit.
Frog.
He frog.
He's a frog.
He is frog.
How is judging?
How are you finding it?
I don't know. I've just been on my iPad the entire time.
Our head judge is a Subway Surfer, baby.
Let's go.
Can you recite the music to Jetpack Joyride right now?
I had no idea.
Children these days. Unbelievable.
I'm not
Child.
that much younger than you. What the hell?
That's what they all say. That's what they all say when they want to drink. I'll be 18 next month.
This is the level of professionalism you can expect from the head
Level
judge.
3 event, by the way. We're going to be very strict.
You are in good hands, I think.
Can we make top 8 be decided by Beyblade?
We're not allowed, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, nothing but like rock paper scissors, right? Or dice rolls. Isn't it one of the two?
No, you're not allowed to do any of those.
What?
Yeah.
What to like?
That's illegal.
No, what? Decide who goes first?
Oh, I thought you said you decides who wins.
Oh yeah. Sorry, boss. You're going to Wilds. I just spin good. Like, you don't understand. My blade was 0.5 grams heavier. Skill issue.
Shouldn't have sourced it from China.
We're gonna have the 6 Beyblade fans in the comments saying, "Well, actually, weight doesn't matter."
Actually, it's all about momentum. Speaking of, did you see the Barcelona Beyblade?
I don't.
No, I did
That's
not.
real. They made a Barcelona like a Barcelona branded Beyblade.
Wait, that's sick. What the frick?
Yeah,
Why
it's
did
its
they
own
get
launcher.
one?
Messi, goal.
Would the British one just be like us having a top hat?
It would be a top.
We would
hat.
just have a top hat.
It'd be top.
It just has like a bunch of quotes of like, it's like a day in the
Brexit
life of a
means-
true Brexit geezer.
Start up the Bugatti.
Rev up the Bugatti. Way. Wake up with the wife, Susan.
Okay,
Look
I'm
at my
gonna go
princess.
find your next round match.
Isn't she beautiful?
Give us something
Yeah,
interesting.
Thanks, babe.
Give us the best players.
But that's everybody,
That's everybody.
here.
And that can be you too. If you attend a BCS near you,
To be fair, actually, this season is actually pretty well spaced out. We tend to have like
yeah,
2 to 3 weeks between events, and we got 7 events coming up.
7 events.
Really good venues as well.
Yeah, and we had a lot of time to prepare for the venues. So, you know, when dates were announced quite quickly, locations were announced very quickly, gave people to book time off work.
Yeah, well, 3 months we had. I think we found out in
Yeah.
August, June, November
brilliant.
now. Yeah, Christ. I mean, to be fair, this just shows you the power of like planning, because just the ability to like determine events early. Unfortunately, of course, there was like the small mishap with just pure misfortune between the French election with BSF France and
Yeah.
the venue here. But besides that, the team has been working really hard.
They've been
The team
doing
over
a
at Black
very
Fire
good
to
job.
get everything to us as soon as possible.
I'm very happy for what they've done, and you can support this by going to BCS.
Yeah, attend events.
Or if you can't attend, share them on social media. Share everything. Watch it like you are doing right now. If you helping out shows that actions that Bushiroad is taking are the right ones.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you look at it, they put the effort in this year.
Pricing is probably the best we've ever seen.
This is the best pricing I've ever seen.
And 70% increase in turnout.
Yeah.
It's these things like directly translate to results.
Yeah.
It's not even like a delayed effect. It's immediately first event of the season, almost double the participation.
I want Vanguards to have thousands of people playing at events. I want to walk into a venue.
I want Yu-Gi-Oh players to look at us and go, I want their numbers.
I want their numbers.
That's the thing is, it's so neat at the moment. Like, it's just, like even today, the games have been like so neat to watch. Like our new mirror was like a bit unfortunate, but you know it happens. Like quick games, Doji was interesting. LCFL was a cool. Like,
what was interesting is we saw the different stages.
Oh. That's Ribbit Man.
That's the frog.
Ribbit. What's up, boss?
What's your stream name?
Echo CBG.
Echo
boss.
CBG.
I can't believe he doesn't follow me on Twitter. Unbelievable.
Echo C. Yeah, on stream.
That's Francis.
This is the boy.
That was enough.
Do you want to come say hi as well?
Did you get it?
Yes, just received.
Should be Rezal versus Blind.
Which one is? Where's Cormac sitting in the 2 seat? Near you or
It's
further?
Cormac.
Near you, so stable 2. Okay.
We have
the premium world champion. Oh,
the premium world champion.
I can select off while being here. It's great.
Was it a B or an A?
sorry. So you said Cormac is sitting further away from you, right? Oh, this way. Shush. That's going to be slow play too on our side.
The premium world champion, Mr. Fenrir himself.
Yeah, the Fenrir man.
It is safe to say this is the player that popularized Fenrir as a threat to the format.
Absolutely, and it's actually been so interesting to watch. I love Fenrir. I must say, it might just be the deck I've had the most fun with in recent times. Like, it's so much fun.
So I guess we've got him to thank for that, or him to blame for that if you are the end of the
skill issue. Be better. Like, there we go. We can go.
I'm very happy to see Rezael do well. The Rizman.
The Rizael himself. We got last one is.
30 seconds.
There we go. And we can
We're just getting all this information up, and we can give you the most up to date.
We got our.
And the other deck, Langmire.
Rezael vs. Bravmile is again end of season one replay.
End of season 1 recap.
There we go. And then, simply put, we can just switch off, and we can probably slowly transition to our round 1.
We've just given the thumbs up to start.
I believe this is round 6, however.
Yeah, this is round 6.
Oh, just one more round to go after this. Day has gone so quickly. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it might be actually.
I believe we'll find out in a moment.
We'll find out in a moment.
If I'm wrong, strike me down, I guess.
But Blindmire versus Rez.
Yeah, and Rezael's going to be the one going first.
Farms that wants to farm up that hand.
Absolutely. Well, the one really fascinating thing here, so we were going to talk about this earlier, we do see Rezael players overall leaning towards a new right line. Oh, no new right line. This is something that popularized a little while ago, but again, when we played, this wasn't super popular. We're seeing, there you go, taking the 1 damage immediately, Jesus. But we can see Rezael players running the olden grade 1, actually, allowing them to show 3 cards, and once you show those 3 cards, you top 5 for a grade 1, which is super valuable here.
Showing that he has the Persona Ride, the Angel. Didn't quite catch the last card he showed.
Because you have to show 3 cards with different grades, and then you search. But interestingly enough, just because we're talking about this being an anime rerun, this is, we were talking earlier about players kind of playing with times, and obviously Fenrir, like we were saying with Philip, takes people's time. Cormac playing it because he's just that comfortable, and today we see him on hostage.
And I think this should be the takeaway. If you are confident with a deck, take it. Don't.
And most importantly, we're actually seeing the pop-in of the brand new hostage package.
And with the hostage package, this is going to be incredibly useful into Blangmire.
Yeah. So we see finance list show up, immediately searching out our order, our set order. We have our brand new set order, which allows us to effectively intercept the unit from the rear guard, and then it binds itself. And later on in the game, we can see Cormac utilizing...
And the heal is huge.
Oh my god.
Staying low into Blangmire, to protect yourself from that scary divine skill turn.
And he goes to 2 as well. But we can also have the Leela Mortar then butt-decking the cards that we bind to BPGs later on. And critically, these do play around Blankmire's Divine Skill.
Yeah.
Because they're not Sentinels.
They're not sent.
But he does hit 3, that's crazy. And he draws just free. So much compression coming out of Blankmire.
So we've got to ask ourselves, is this matchup going to be like the anime? Or is Blankmire going to take this?
Yeah.
Big spoiler if you haven't
But
watched season 1.
Blankmire, we can also see Blankmire also played his set order, which allows us to have a booster, which of
Allows
course
boosters.
crosses over with the brand new set 4 triple rare for Blankmire, Veldrock Dragon.
Veldrock Dragon. Very scary card.
Yeah, allowing us to scale by gaining 10k per 4 cards in the bind zone. Absolutely huge numbers that this deck is going to be able to generate in the future.
Any DI copers, this is Ragey support as well.
Cease. Stop this. But yeah, we can see the Nilbiri coming down immediately. We can still see the Grey 2 none from earlier. He's swinging. He's just going to be giving him numbers. He doesn't need that Grey 2 anymore. He's got the order. He swings. Oh, that is Twin Drive. That's nothing, unfortunately. But we are going to see Alright going.
Cormac playing this deck incredibly comfortably, incredibly well, setting up that
aggressively.
early game. This is what you expect from someone that has won well.
So aggressively. And we can see the Nilbiri's proccing as well. Nilbiri's, of course, being the brand new support card. Allowing us when it's called by an ability, by your ability of your Rezal specifically against 10k. And at the end of its battle, Energy Blast put to Soul. And when you're done putting it to Soul, you draw a card, check top card, how they stack it top or bottom. Pretty terrifying skill to go up against.
It's safe to say, I think Cormac is in the driver's seat.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
Game.
I think he is. He's on the offensive. He's going in. That heal as well, super damaging. But importantly, because Rezal healed, he also didn't get to call anything, which is important.
It is impactful, but I think just the early game momentum, it's going to be fine.
Second set order coming in. We do see the Zamoog coming in. Zamoog is just going to be skill on legs.
Oh, that's a bracing ladder and
that is
2
okay.
triggers.
That's fine. Zamoog draws off of 1. So your entire Rhineland requires you to put 2. So you put, effectively your Rhineland puts everything grade 1 or greater into Soul.
Only soul charging 1.
But that's okay though, because he hit 3 off the first one, right?
He did hit 3, you're right, yeah.
And in fairness, ladder doesn't do anything here. Keta has no noticeable retire that Rezal would run. And in this case, I think you want to keep as many triggers in deck and you still get the draw, so I think you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you'll absolutely return the triggers.
Because one card we haven't seen yet, it might be in his hand, we've yet to see it. But you do have the... Ooh, 3 cards, that is second Zamoog. But distinctly, Zamoog does allow us to select what we put into Soul. So we don't have to put everything. So I guess he's trying to decide between his Tiskars and his... Yeah, sorry, between his... he's just putting the Persona Ride. It's 2 Persona Rides out, though.
But I think that's fine. The game isn't going to go longer.
I suppose so, yeah. I suppose Veldros pushes such big numbers that...
It doesn't matter,
you just accept it, right? I feel like you must. He goes for that draw. But also, if he swings Vanguard first here... Oh, he moves it back, he calls... Okay, so we got the Alchemist as well, but he does also, importantly, call our single strike Shadow Colossus. Of course, it's a card that if you have 4 cards in bind against 10k, and beyond that, once you're done with the 4k, it can put itself to Soul, or if it goes to Soul, you can bind it, draw a card, and it binds itself face down. Which, again, further fuels your Blankmire. So yeah, he's already starting off with the Zamoog. He's probably going to go for the restand on it. Again, you have the energy. You're trying to just push damage at this point.
You need to put some damage on board. Cormac being on 0 damage.
That's no go.
It's your divine skill turn is
it's
not
nothing.
Killing.
And this is already in a matchup where, as we know, Cormac is running the hostage package. It's already a rough matchup for Blankmire.
Yeah.
Now, just going to boost. He's got so notably, Evoke Alchemist is our big booster for Blankmire. He should be swinging for potentially a 28k here. And he binds, so he's going to what, 2033? And a front trigger. That's so big. And a heal. Oh my god. Okay, that's huge. That's huge for Blankmire. Well, does Cormac take it? No, Cormac does take it. That's a front trigger. Which, admittedly, not devastating. We're still looking at serious numbers coming out of Jachidos here, but that's not always the best. But
I am worried for the Blankmire player now.
But remember, look at Rezal here. He's dropping so many tricks. Ooh, that's a second defensive.
That's
a critical.
Wasted that is very unfortunate.
Well, the sad thing as well for Rezal is you don't mind seeing defensive. You just don't want those to be crits because you want to put them back as soon as possible. And that Persona Ride could potentially be very big, and he draws Selgaon as well.
Let's have a quick zoom in on Cormac's hands, just to have an
Absolutely,
idea what we're working with here.
PGs, that's important. And the thing as well here is we know he's safe, and the fact that he can commit that Selgion that he just drew allows him to commit to just going a grade 0 and a grade 2, so he can effectively create a column of Nilbiri so it wipes itself, leaving a Selgion and a grade 2 and calling a grade 2 and a booster to still form 4 attacks. And 4 serious attacks as well.
4 serious attacks.
Because we know he's on fronts.
Exactly, that's exactly right. It's brilliant here. We're watching Cormac play Reza incredibly well.
Yeah.
Watching Cormac has
got the
definitely
T-fault as
play
well.
tested this match, and the tier fault drop.
So unfortunately it doesn't proc, but we do see, so that's going to be 43k columns.
This is going to be a painful turn for Bravmile.
And he calls the PG as well. Yeah, I think he just goes for the numbers, because at the end of the day, Cormac knows in this case that his win con is not going to be perfect odds.
Yes.
You just don't want to keep him. You just rig guards, screw it.
Yeah, they're
Give him stuff to bot deck.
8k rear guards.
Yeah.
They're 8k booster. They're
6, I believe, but because they're not normally as a center, so maybe they're 6k, but still, that's still better than nothing. You'd rather that than nothing at all. 23, hey, 29 is better than 23, right?
We're just getting a calculation from just to make sure. And
Your
it's a
T-fault,
drop
yeah,
of
your
20.
T-fault's going for 30, you're going for 25. Or you're going for the 30. Goes CB1, he's going to call a 2 and a 0.
Let's see why he.
Are we going to see the Nilbirius coming out? I can't believe, does he have the Nilbirius in drop?
I think
He
there is.
might. I can't remember that, actually.
He's thinking.
If we're able to get a visual on what his hand is there, that could be pretty impactful.
Just communicating.
Are we
with-
seeing? So he does have. Of course, he has the grade 2 from the order setting, and then he
Yes.
just calls a trigger behind it. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, I mean that's still 25k. That's nothing to scoff at. That's serious. That's serious figures. Oh, of course, we're silly. Of course, he calls the perfect guard. The order
hostage,
package allows
yes.
to intercept with it,
Yeah, and
and it gets around blank fire
it gets
again.
Bravmile.
So this has so many ways to get around that effect.
This is just an incredibly rough matchup for Bravmile, unfortunately, and it's especially rough when the person knows exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And this is what you should expect from 6th round of Swiss.
But he did get the arrow sage, but unfortunately he does take that damage. But the arrow sage is huge because it means once he intercepts with it, he has counter charge and a 23, and he can become 28, 38.
We had a quick glimpse into. I saw a quick glimpse into the into Bravmile's hand there.
Ooh, what are we looking at here? Ooh, so
This is showing us
He's going to be overguarding the Zamuk here.
potential overguard
But
coming.
you
up.
take it, and it's that's a heal.
Another heal.
That's so
The
big.
heals are flying.
That is
We've
huge.
had a
in
lot
this
of
matchup.
heals resolving today.
He does, but the insane thing here is he on 3 damage or on 4 damage? No, he's on 3.
He's on 3. Yeah, he's on 3.
Oh, we must have misclicked there, but this is huge because what is Rezal's win con? It's the divine skill. And that divine skill is nothing if not critting, and that crit just doesn't have as much pressure. But I suppose the other side is that means he does have fewer heals in deck now.
Yeah,
And we've not seen Veldrosses yet.
we've not seen Veldrosses. So I think I think this will be the turn where I don't think it's correct to divine skill here. I think you leave it another turn, try and filter a little bit more, try and bait out the PG that's on the field, or get
Absolutely,
rid of it. It needs that needs to go. You need to get Cormac to call another one. The interesting thing that Bravmile can do is, because PGs are sort of used and Cormac is calling them, he can play a sort of longer game than you would normally, and just play the waiting game. Wait until the longer the game goes, then Reziel also has a higher chance of checking crits after its divine skill, hitting the double crit or the triple crit, or even the 6th crit heal.
Although, the one thing that's interesting, it's more to take note because I don't think there's many players quite like this. Cormac is just a person who's, just their body language, like, oozes comfort. Something about it, like, you play the game against him and he never feels stressed. No matter how bad a state he's in,
He's very comfortable. It could do with these really comfortable chairs that we're all sitting in.
Absolutely, yeah.
But-
Brought to us by Mao cards.
Brought to us by Valley Cat.
It's so true because like you'll be sitting against him and you'll be playing a game and it's just he's so calm and it just kind of starts throwing you off because you're going, am I in a worse position than I think I am? Is there something? Am I missing something? And I think just the level of mental pressure that can exude is really something.
Look at the body pressure. Look at the body positionings of everybody.
Look at the alpha Cormac.
The alpha. Bravmile player is also playing it very well.
Yeah, he's calm, he's collected, he's playing it correctly. And yeah, also, important to note, we can see being called behind the booster is the brand new promo card, which you can also get at BCS's, by the way. You're looking at the Netherworld Butcher. So much like our Varga Grade 2, I believe it's Regu or something of the sort, it does prevent intercepts, which is massive in this deck. And also, it is a Zamuk skill on legs.
It's his out to hostage.
You just put a card from drop and put it into your soul. So you're able to effectively have a dedicated Falkrate, which is very strong. Yeah, he's just going to go straight for the Zamuk and the restand. That's all he really needs. Because yeah, Cormac guards the first one. He swings. And most likely we're going to see him binding that perfect guard.
Now we just have to wait to see. He's thinking.
Unless he's unable to bind? Surely not. There we go, okay. I was caught off guard from him. I'm like, surely not.
No, he has enough. He's just thinking. I think he's only choosing 2.
Yeah, you can only choose 2.
Yeah.
So you can bind anywhere between 2 and 4, but if you bind 4, you choose 2 of their cards and you bind them. I feel like you have to go for 4, because otherwise that PG just happens, right? And you're not going to bind something like that. Does it intercept or move?
I think...
Well, I believe we can actually check that out by pulling the card up on screen. Thank you, Fuzzy. So the thing is, the card you're thinking of allows us, when it's attacked, you move it.
Oh, you move it, yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't... Sorry, apologies, chat. I was wrong.
So that's what makes it such a scary matchup for Bravmile. He goes, oh, that's a heal trigger again.
A third heal trigger.
What a god. A third heal. And he's just drawing them. And yeah, meanwhile, Cormac is going to 3. Now, importantly, until we get Gabriele's next set, 3 damage is a really awkward spot. Oh, sorry, it's actually an ideal spot. 4 damage is a really awkward spot for Rezel. But 1, 2, and 5, 1, 2, 3, and 5 are actually fairly comfortable. Because if you think about the grade combinations we're working with, Rezel distinctly prevents us from calling 2 of the same grade. So 1 lets us call a 1 and a 0, a 2 and 2 and a 0, 3 a 2 and a 1, which is of course what we want. And 5 gives us access to 3 and a 2. But 4 is really awkward, because until we get Gabriele's, our best 3 attacker is Masha, but important, Masha doesn't plus. He's one of the only cards in this deck that does nothing for us. But very happy to give that up by giving us Aerial Sage, Countercharge, and Sergon.
It'll be interesting to see now. Now that the damage score has been swapped around. Now Cormac can start hitting heals.
Yeah.
If Cormac starts checking the heal triggers, he will his damage will decrease. He will his chances of survival will increase exponentially.
Absolutely.
And I think it's correct to play it as a 4 attack deck.
Yeah, and he just gets an Ilberius out. It's just that easy.
And just as I said that, check to heal trigger.
That is crazy strong. Because yeah, meanwhile, ooh. Again, notice one thing we've noticed is he's really not been getting any mileage out of those orders. He's just not been seeing his Veil Drosses, which is really rough.
Dropping a 15k to guard.
15k, yeah, that does it.
Dropping a 15k to guard, and
but of course, an Ilberius does draw a card and stack. But did we get a divine skill out of Blind last time?
we had no. There was no divine. There was no divine skill yet.
Because I think with Cormac having the thing on the board, the PG on the board, it's just there's no point, right?
Yeah, you're right. Also at the damage count that Cormac was on,
there was just no more point in it, right? You're not going to crit them, you're not going to double crit them. Oh, I don't think you play with that in mind, right? I think you just basically go, if it happens, awesome, but you don't really push for that super hard.
It is important to note that OT still has not been checked. It's not been seen. In fact, we haven't seen an OT being drive checked all game. All damage.
Yeah, all most day, yeah.
All day, yeah.
We've just been seeing crits flying.
We've been seeing crits and heals fly, but no OT. Is that the jinx moment? Is something going to change? We'll find out. And he's
Ooh, Zamuk swinging to the ray guard, actually.
Two lining. Still gets his 3 attacks.
But no, he keeps doing that. He keeps not committing a massive board. I wonder if he's trying to retain hand and just apply the Zamuk 2-crit pressure constantly.
I think that's it.
I think you just keep going Zamuk until eventually they let it hit, and then you just try and Divine Scale at that point. Yeah, he goes CB, he restarts Zamuk. Zamuk is going to be huge. Zamuk's going to be looking at what? What are we looking at here? Did we Persona right? Is it like 30, 48 maybe?
I don't think there was a Persona right.
Yeah, at this point we're looking 38, 48. These are serious numbers. There's nothing to scoff at.
The crit there was big.
Ooh.
So
4 damage straight to 4. That's rough.
And another crit that is gone.
Yeah.
Luckily, he did heal a crit away, but that's another crit that he can't return back.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to activate the energy here. Yeah, we are going to get the energy because, yeah, you have to. It's going to go for the 2 crit.
Yeah, you want to pressure. You want to force cards out.
Yes, what are we looking at potentially? 48 now? 2 crit? And yeah, he's got
Brilliant.
it. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Kane, you got 1 defensive, 23, 43,
Yeah,
48. Yeah,
defensive,
that does
yes.
it. It certainly does it. And then it's back over to Cormac.
So can we go to Cormac's hand and we can sort of see what is Cormac going to do?
Yeah.
No Persona ride.
No, but he does have an Ilberius again. This stacking is so powerful. Also important that, like, oh, so he knew the crit was on top last time because, of course, he stacked it and he
Yes.
didn't resolve his Hellgown. I don't believe he did, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ends up creating, again, really interesting game states for Accel. Your positioning really begins to matter here. I mean, what do you think the line is here? Do you try and keep pushing for game, or do you keep trying to control the board? Because he's clearly unwilling to come in hand. And he's got a massive hand, so I think Jachidos here is just saving up for that Divine Skill turn. Again, it's just a game of chicken. Yeah, so he just takes it. Straight up just goes to 4. And again, you get put in crit range, but he has a Divine Skill. And it's just Divine Skill chicken. Nobody wants to be the first one to pull the trigger. Because I think, like, in Rezel's, do you think... So with Vados Dragon in the game, do you reckon even if you burn Divine Skill, you still have pressure? Or do you just give up too much by shotgunning it?
I think with Vados in the game, you can give up Divine Skill. The numbers are just absurd. But
68 columns, not uncommon. Like, this crazy numbers.
two-
There's the
two
Leela
line-
Mortar, though, so
The Leela Mortar is
very problematic for it.
that's another one of the many outs that this deck has.
So yeah, I think do you just do it for to force the discard, or is your bind zone arguably valuable enough that you just don't want to give that to them?
I'm very curious of what.
Because think about talking about earlier, like, what do you think is the mental pressure on Jachidos right now? Because Cormac is he's staring him down on 4 damage, going, "I'm living this turn. I don't need this Divine Skill." Do you reckon that makes Jachidos like question what is in his hand?
I think so. I think you should be considering why is my opponent not Divine Skilling here? Could the answer just be Cormac has too big of a deck and not enough crits are in public?
But the deck's looking tiny if we're looking at it. I mean, admittedly, we can't get a quite deck count, but that's starting to look a little thin.
Just walk up to the table and ask them, can you count any deck, please?
Yo, cards in deck, please?
But look at that hand. Look at that. That hand is a library.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going for the Shattering Dragon. Oh, sorry, Shattering Colossus. He's trying to go for those big
Bravmile's
numbers.
hand is also very healthy.
Well, he's just been bi-laning this whole game. He's just been dual-laning this whole time. He's only finally committing it, and that's a regard that can wipe itself to draw on it. But again, unlike Rezel, Bravmile has a massive deck out problem. I think if you notice, I don't think he's been drawing that much off of his Vanguard skill. Because, again, if you're not applying that pressure, you're just going to take yourself out. Yeah, he's just going to keep going for that Zamuk proc. You keep trying to poke and poke and poke and poke. Yeah, and he binds his... Yeah, there you go.
So the moment truth is Divine Skill activating.
So he's going for the restand. And does he... Ooh. That's Divine Skill. So he's getting Divine Skill. That is the Leela Mortar, of course. As we know, for all of us watching the anime, what the Leela Mortar does for us? Well, of course, Bravmile turns off PGs. But what does the L do for us?
It's a PG that's not a Sentinel.
Yeah, so it utilizes the bind zone, which we're able to generate because of our order card, to just negate attacks. And because it's not a Sentinel, it just gets around Bravmile's restriction. It's neither a Sentinel effect nor the Vanguard effect, but very critical here.
Oh, wow. 5 cards in deck from the looks of things. Might be even less.
But the fascinating thing is, if you think about it, so we're looking at 4 cards in deck on Bravmile, and unless Cormac has Persona Ride in Bravmile's defense, this is a vanilla
And
turn.
he's done it. He's survived the Bravmile's turn.
It's brutal. It's just so rough.
This game,
Cormac has the Persona Ride, so he's back.
he's back.
Chat, we are so back.
He still has his divine skill.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just got it, yeah. Because what Cormac can do now is, like you say, he can divine skill. There you go, he's
there we
doing it.
go.
Activate the divine skill, and not only can his opponent not afford to take a single hit, because he will deck out. He's on 4, he draws for 1, he can't
Yeah.
afford to take it. But Cormac is chilling. He's got the Persona right. The divine skill did nothing. And he's got the CC as well, yeah.
Yeah, and just
He's just got everything, yeah. Cormac is just him today.
he just needs to stabilize. He needs to stabilize after that turn, which is what he's doing. GG.
Well, Jachidos lost his Vanguard swings. Unless he has double Vados in hand, he has no Vanguard scaling. I mean, it's just a lot, and we know Cormac has OT in hand. I just don't think there's a world Cormac loses this.
Yeah, he just failed to do triple drive, so just correcting that game state there. That was actually a good catch, though. We didn't catch that.
But again, that's how we have to thank Blackfire for providing us with dedicated judges for the judge table. Thank you, Francis,
Thank
who was
you,
here
Francis.
earlier. Again, this season is so well organized. Everyone's putting in so much work to make this as good as it can be.
And that's an even more reason to
Attend your local events.
to attend events, but also to just learn what every deck does.
Yeah.
Just so you don't miss anything that happens, because mistakes happen. That's 3 cards in deck. This is the final turn as far.
Yeah. Cormac's goal here isn't to win, so Cormac's priorities shift here. Cormac doesn't need to win, he just needs to not lose. Because he knows whatever Jachidos can manifest, it is only his Regard swings. There will not be restands. He can afford to take 1 damage, and every single turn is a ticking time bomb now. Because he knows the Jachidos can't dedicate CB, he will die. He will deck out 3 cards in deck. At most, we're looking at 3 more turns. But I think that's very unlikely. But on the other side, don't you think this is Jachidos' decision-making early catching up to him? Him saving that hand means potentially he could have 3 turns of big boosters to whittle down that hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to call Grey 2s and activate his orders to give them boost.
So he is
Vanguard swing.
Yeah, so he is
All or
going for
nothing.
the final turn.
All or nothing.
And I think that's correct to do that. You've got
I mean, you
the
have to,
Persona Ride
right?
power.
Because you die next time, you can't afford it. That's OT.
Oh!
That's a good
No
game.
way, he
Unfortunately, the first overtrigger of the day.
And checking OT lost the game. That is crazy. OT's broken. The first overtrigger of the day, and it's...
See, people say overtriggers are broken, but they seem
It
to
just-
lose you the
it just
game more
lost
often than
you the
anything.
game.
Oh my god.
That is insane.
Oh my god, that is so funny. But the funny thing is because we spent so long going like, wow, OTs win games so much.
OTs win
But
games,
you know,
and it just
this
lost
is the
game.
ultimate betrayal. Your overtrigger winning your opponent the game. I can't believe there's double agents in Vanguard. I thought this was undercover.
Bravmile players, stop playing OT so you too don't lose to it.
The betrayal. That was crazy. Imagine getting backset by your own drive
By
checks.
your own drive
That's
checks.
crazy.
In hindsight, I don't think it mattered.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was, I think, is very funny. And that's what happens in Vanguard sometimes.
Yeah. And if you want to lose to OT on your drive checks, attend your next BCS. The next event we're looking at, and of course we're going to be providing coverage from there as well, is BCS Portugal in about 2 weeks, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks, over from San Cosme in Porto, or outside of Porto, rather, and 7th and 8th of December. So, yeah, swing by if you can. Again, I can't. It's really hard to convey this when people can't see this, but the atmosphere here is electrifying. You have a full room.
A full room.
70% increase on last year. That's so many people. You look over the corner and it's just packed tables. There isn't an empty seat here. There are waiting lists here.
An
So many
actual
people.
waiting list for a European event. We are no longer the McDonald's regionals. Eat that, France.
Also, apologies, we didn't appear to have a mistake in the round previously. It was round 5, not round 6. So there are 2 more rounds, but we will amend that graphic in time for the VODs to come up. So I appreciate everybody in chat for letting us know. It had slipped my mind, so thank you very much for everybody letting us know. But I can't believe we literally went from 70. So thank you, by the way, to Sage, April, for keeping track of all the stats.
Yes.
For the BCS. I think there's something really like empowering and motivational about seeing your community. Because at the end of the day, this game is not as big as some other card games. So a lot of it is incumbent on us to help grow our local communities. And I think one of the greatest things is seeing a lot of small communities kind of start up. I remember, so our locals Darksphere in London hosted several Springfests and BCSs. 3 years ago, we were a group of maybe 5 of us, 6 of us.
Yeah.
And now you're attending it. It's like 30-man locals every week. And you come here, and like it's your people.
170 people, and it's people that you know. European BCSs might be small, but thank you.
Thank you. It's time on the round.
It's time on round. But
I would like to announce a repair.
Oh, and there have been no repairs. Way.
Navi, baby!
I thank you, Navi, for not causing any repair issues.
And for allowing us to show you guys, allowing us to show you guys the deck logs as they come up. Honestly, I think being able to view that is something really cool, actually.
It helped the competitive scene a lot. One, it's better than the OG deck log style where you had to write a deck log physically.
Shout out to my dyslexic kings.
Dyslexia, it hits us all. But also, writing Dragonic, Supreme Heavenly Emperor, Dragonic Overlord.
Supreme Heavenly Emperor, not Buster Dragon, 65.
Also, you had to write down different rarities as well.
Oh my god.
So imagine having different rarities of that. Any DI players, Abominable Gilderay. I had, when I was starting out...
I think that's unfair to French people. They're so good at that.
I was on 4 and I had 2 SP and I had to write that up twice. I think for one event I just took 2 out, so I'm not writing this twice.
Thanks, we're sorry that happened. I ain't reading that shit.
I ain't writing all that. So, it's made registering easy.
Yeah.
I know I can't talk from that.
Oh no, your registering isn't your problem. It's clearing top card that's your problem.
But for most people, it's removed a lot of mistakes in the deck log era.
Yeah.
For normal people.
Unfortunately, I am not one of those people.
Unfortunately, both of us. That's why we're casting.
Yeah.
The
The reason I'm here is because I don't want to keep typing out my G-zone wrong. So here we are.
Yeah.
But, so actually, interesting enough, we have 2 more rounds to go. And I think, credit to the staff supporting us, there haven't been many of the same decks. I mean, the same decks insofar as, of course, the best deck are the best deck, right? But I think we have really interesting matchups, really diverse matchups.
Yeah. And we're getting a pretty diverse... So I think that will translate into a pretty diverse top cut. Hopefully. Famous last words.
But again, top 16.
And it's a top 16.
And you're going to get the now crest out of it. Oh. There we go. But the thing as well, like, we're going to be getting our pairings fairly soon. We're going to get everybody running and letting us know. And it's going to be... I will say, it's been very exciting kind of getting to see, because my biggest grievance with the past couple of years, especially in terms of Worlds, was this feeling that, somebody comes to Worlds, and if it's not someone from your locals, which again, like we said, growing the community is awesome. It's the best part of the game. Then seeing this community like translate to bigger like global events is so cool. Like,
yeah, I want to see the Worlds player and then go, oh my god, it's that guy
like
that
I
watched.
saw him in Swiss.
I saw him in Swiss.
Yeah.
And there's Philip.
Oh, we have a giant.
We have a giant.
Big man Philip.
He's got such a big head.
Big head. It's got to store all those proxy PDFs in there.
Yeah.
Google Drive said no anymore. Oh, world champion?
Washed.
Mr.
Former
Washed.
world champion.
Hello there.
Hello there. So
It's
we have
Squatmeister.
guest commentator. You dropped.
I lost against Sojo.
Tell-
It was a good game. I get all the way to 3rd stride.
We just watched Blankmire lose to Hostage Rezel because he OT'd himself and decked out.
That happens.
I mean, yeah.
It was really funny that
That's Vanguard,
that
baby.
between the last rounds we were talking about deck out and time,
Yeah.
and then we just watched a game.
And then we watched
that
a
was-
deck out deck win because his opponent decks out before time.
I think that's really funny, and I really hope the reason that happened was judges were listening and they wanted to spite us. Yeah. It's really funny how Barrow Magnus never wins any single game. So judges, if you can work with that, please.
Do with that information what you will.
Speaking of, I might put a judge shirt on.
A what?
I might put a judge shirt on.
Ayo, X2 judge.
All right, X2 judge.
X2 judge.
X2 judge. X3 judge. Ooh.
He got worse. He got worse.
It only
I've
gets-
never seen somebody neg their own like score in real time.
Yeah.
It's like, you're bad, excuse me, I'm
I'm
trash,
worse.
actually.
No, it's okay. X3. Remember, it's not about going undefeated or X1. It's about sneaking
It's about the
into top
promos you
cut.
pulled along the way.
It's about improvement.
Yeah.
If at the end of each event you can walk away and go, I've learned something about the deck, or
I
what
should
I've
run
played
OT
into,
less.
I should run OT less.
Shut up, Bravmile players.
Then it was a success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think the interesting thing is, like, what do you reckon we're going to be seeing in the last couple of rounds? Because like you said last round, we're really getting to, like, top of the top. Like, these are the best ones. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm still hopeful. I want to see a Luard. I like Luard. I like it when there are grade 4s on my Vanguard.
Like Luard? Hell yeah.
I like when
Vanguard is at its best when there is a grade 4 that leaves the Vanguard at end of turn.
like when that leaves when it goes grade 4 back into grade 3. That's a really cool feeling. So I want to see another stride deck.
I want to see more. I want to see next stage
Jet.
resolve.
I want to see a next stage resolve. We need to get some jet buffs out there. What are you doing in America? Come to Europe.
Where is Chris stroking out about bet Juffs?
Yeah,
I want to see it right now.
We need some bet Juffs.
To be fair, that clip does crack me up because you're basically watching like Vanguard's premier voice, like having a full-on stroke live on air. Like his brain just goes, I forgot both of these words. Which one sounds right? It's like, you know, if you ever played an instrument, it's kind of like when you press like keys, and you're like, this sounds close, but it's not it, right? And you start like pressing other keys to try and get there. It feels like that, but it's like in real time. Yeah, what are you thinking we're going to get to see in the next rounds?
I think it'll be Shoujo. I think we're at round 6 now. Going into round 6, I think Shoujo's maybe another Bravmile.
I just think this one's an unfortunate one. I think it's very doable for Bravmile to make it.
Without knowing the matchup data, I'm hoping for Luard. But I think Shoujo, another Nui or so, maybe a Messiah or Sneakton. Maybe
I mean,
nudge. They do.
I mean, Philip dropped, so
Yeah, but you know, we could get a good Messiah player.
I mean,
I'm sorry, Philip.
I'll have you know,
I'm sorry.
he's so good. If he bought the Messiah trial deck that they have there, it would be hot sim. That's how good he is.
Yeah,
The small deck heroes will like. That's out here.
Small deck heroes out here.
See, normally it's top deck, but like without his, what is he without his boys? Missing the.
Small deck.
He is suffering a severe case of missing the homies.
He is missing the homies. And you can help us by missing the homies by attending BCS events.
You too can cure seasonal depression by attending BCS and seeing the homies.
And seeing the homies.
I mean, to be fair though, I think genuinely, I think that's a big part of card games that like a lot of people. I don't think it's as emphasized as it could be. I think we're going to be getting our pairings, but I think people don't emphasize how important, how like much of the game is just seeing the people you care about, right? Like that's the best part. That's always been the best part for me, at least.
Yeah, seeing everybody, seeing the group of friends and making new friends. I've met a lot of people in events. A lot of friends that are amazing people. And AL.
Never cooking dinner for you again. Let Hal do it. Tesco meal deal's gonna go crazy. Employee discount, baby.
Yeah, the employee discount. So,
have we got the logs for it?
You guys are like live.
oh, we are live.
Yeah, but I don't think I've got anything to buy yet.
Yeah.
Holding on for it.
Evo, okay.
Yeah.
He's busy.
Sure. But again, that was Francis's. Huh? Oh, God bless, don't tell us what the mirror... Oh, actually, tell us what the mirror is.
Oh, it's a mirror. So we don't know what the mirror is, but apparently it is a mirror. Any bets?
Doji or Nui?
We had a Doji mirror, we had a Nui mirror. What if it's a Bravmile mirror?
Deck out turbo, deck out turbo.
What's a Resile mirror?
Attention players, round 6 is starting now.
Oh.
So,
There we go. Right, let's try that out. So,
we are just finding out what our opponents are playing.
so we're at the moment just going to be holding on a little bit just to get our deck logs for the next round. We're going to configure the stream,
And we'll be back.
yeah. And unfortunately, sorry for the graphical issues earlier. We had a mistake in the previous round. It is round 6 now. That will be updated in time for the VODs. The previous round was round 5. So it's this and one more round.
This and one more.
Cutting to
Swiss.
top 16.
Top
yeah.
16.
We'll be taking a short break after that, then cutting to top 16.
Top 16.
So we're probably going to go on a slight... Oh, actually, never mind. We are receiving
our
our
judges
details
are
now.
even better than we...
Sorry?
It's not a mirror.
God bless.
Oh.
First matchup ever.
Oh. So we've been told it's not a mirror, but it's the worst
Mirrors-
matchup ever.
Let's quickly double check. So,
So,
that sounds like a ruling nightmare.
that
And you know what
sounds-
says ruling nightmares?
I love me ruling.
Playing match for misinformation.
So we have our judge Francis for spreading misinformation. Everyone blame Francis for the caster's mistakes. We can do no wrong. So we're just finding out who is playing what. Oh. And
Funnily
we
enough, so
have my card.
actually, you'll notice a little name there. You see a little Dorian?
Oh,
Do you know who that
Dorian.
is?
Very, very good player.
That is our reigning standard world champion.
very,
So
very good player.
we've got some
We've had
good...
2 world champions for you this stream. I think you should show.
This is 3. We had Cormac, we had Dave,
oh, 3.
and now we have a third one. So again, Europe is an absolutely stacked region.
3 world champions.
So stacked.
Well, 2 world champions and a former washed world champion.
So washed. Oh
so
my
washed.
god. Shout out Dave. What a washed boy. But in fairness, our first... Actually, we're going to be loading up our images now. So, okay, so we're going to be looking at... Ooh. What else? What else could
is
he be
it?
playing?
It is.
When you have a world champion that wins and redubs the Bozo into a real deck, and it's possible now, we're getting a real deck out of this. Like, it's just insane to me. Like,
I'm very curious what the second deck can be. We found the first one.
yeah, and he's just going to be reclaiming his title. It's his deck at the end of the day. I mean,
It is Mr. Shoujo Doji himself.
yeah. About 30 seconds, if
30
that's okay.
seconds.
We got, going to be quickly just adjusting our little names here. We got Dorian as player 2, which again is going to be...
Dorian.
You, oh, am I mean when I misspell? Hello? No, it is Dorian. What?
No, you put D-O-R. You didn't put R.
Oh, I'm blind. Me one spelling. There we go. See, we're fine. We're chilling.
We're big chillin'.
There we go. And as soon as his deck
That
log loads,
username doesn't sound familiar to me. It's not somebody I can speak on. So I don't know what they've played in the past.
oh, that's why. There we go. So while we load the image up for player 1, so as was Shinhymini? There we go. Yeah, good start. And so, what's going to be happening is Moto. Oh, we're looking at Accel.
Oh wow!
That is going to be so
This
interesting to
late
watch.
into the tournament as well.
Yeah, so do you remember we were talking about it earlier? We were saying it makes really scary numbers. I mean,
So it's a Dragon Empire, and it's another red. It's funny that
so it's a mirror in a national sense.
it's a nation mirror. It's so. You know what? Don't hate on Francis too hard. He was close. Close enough.
Oh, unfortunately, we didn't reset the damage in time there. But as we go now, so we can see that our Doji is going to be going first.
Doji going first is pretty scary.
I believe. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, so he puts the Persona right to Soul, so he's got... Is that unprecedented that we got in the Mind Zone? Perfect, so when a President gets called out, he's going to be able to Soul Blast that Persona right and just add it back off to hand with the Kinran.
So now he doesn't even have to try and search for it.
It's such a tight resource loop. It's so insane. It's just... Everything works so well, and again, right
Oh wait, so
Kunai.
Shoujo was second.
Oh yeah, must be. Oh yeah, the Persona. There we go. And he drops the PG. Yeah, you just give it to him.
He's rushing. He's putting that damage out.
Ooh, and he takes the defensive. I mean, in fairness, this is okay at this stage in the game. Oh, he got the crit. Of course he did.
Yeah.
Ooh, that can be rough. Because again, as we talked earlier, Doji poking.
Doji poking. Early crits. Early crits are rough. He's going to get his 3 energy. I was thinking, what does he want to do? Does he want to... He's calling out for some early game. Is he going to do any more? Is he going to commit anything else?
I don't think you do here, because you don't want to just lose all your pieces,
You don't want
right?
to lose everything.
Because forget, this is a rear guard centric deck. You really don't want to be burning your things too much here. So yeah, he's going to be getting his draw. And I mean, it's one of the things, right? Because if you're thinking onto the next round, right? Oh. Like, the thing you're looking at potentially is next round, so he's going to be committing a board here, he's just going to be going aggro, because his opponent is, of course, still fairly low. But where he's going to be able to retire things, he's going to be able to draw more. Accel going to make really big numbers. Doji haven't been able to farm yet. It can get really scary really quickly. Like, it can just do that sometimes.
So yeah, rushing Shoujo to put pressure on. That's an Isho that Anisha's. I can't pronounce Dragon Empire names.
Which one, sorry?
The grade 2.
Oh, the Ojigishi.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Isazao.
Yeah, Ishizao, that's it.
And ooh, that's 2 damage. Isazao and Unprecedented. That can be kind of rough. I mean, but Unprecedented is already in circulation, and the next turn he's going to get to top 5 for 1.
Yeah.
So I think that could be okay. But he's going to start Persona right again. Doji doesn't care.
Doji doesn't care.
So we see Akino, another Unprecedented. Oh, that's incredible. So the interesting thing about Unprecedented, okay, this allows us to call him. Unprecedented, when called by an ability, it doesn't need to be grade 3.
Yeah.
Will draw us a card.
It will draw us a card.
It is so much value. We can see sharp, and he's a beta next time.
And I think this is the first time we've seen it being put down.
Yeah.
To this today.
Yeah, there goes Soul Blaster. So he's just ready now. He's just relaxing.
There's no pressure. He just forgot to charge up his energy.
Yeah, unfortunately, mandatory actions. Of course, thankfully, you have Francis there helping us out and making this doable and making sure we do keep up with these kind of game states. Yeah, do you think so? If Accel is a deck that requires stabilization, do you reckon there's a world where you just confirm as much damage as you can as soon as, and just say if they heal, they heal? Yes, there you go. You go 18. Accel goes, no worries. And you go, that's a heal. Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice heal. Because, as you know, the thing about these heals... Oh, and you go up. You stay on 3. The thing with those heals, you can now add it to hand off of Kinran. Grades to grade 2 or greater.
Well.
Ooh, that's so dangerous against Doji.
Shoujo. This is...
Do you realize that there is a world where the standing world champion who made Doji a household name comes back on the first BCS of the season and wins again?
Wins it again.
It's possible because it's just gone such good support since then.
It's an incredibly strong deck now.
A bird told me it was made specifically for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's riding the Accel. Again, just to remind ourselves, it has been a little while. Accel, the destined ones of scales. Activating, you can once per turn, again, 2 act abilities, which is very unusual for a boss. Soul Blast 2, you're going to select 3 of your rear guards and give them 5k. And if you choose 2 or more rear guards with the overcharge ability, you also draw 1 and gain 10k. So you, again, really big numbers. You're making big numbers, and if they're overcharged, if they have the ability, they get chosen, they become overcharged. Big numbers, a lot of resources. What do you reckon he does here? Do you reckon he just tries to make these columns, or
I
go
think
resources?
I think he goes columns. I think the game is over. The game will be over after Dorian's next.
Do you think he even gets a divine skill this game? I don't think he does.
I'm not confident.
Because we're getting a glimpse at his hand, and it's not fantastic. I mean, there's maybe a PG there, but I don't think that's enough. Especially into Doji.
Into Doji, I think 4 damage. We need to see some heals being checked.
See, he chooses 3, but 2 of them are overcharge cards, so he's going to draw 1. Unfortunately, it's a trigger that he desperately wants to see on his drive checks.
We need to see some heals being drive checked there.
Right now, yeah.
Immediately. So we're just gonna wait. I think correct, swing Vanguard fast and just draw trigger. It's useful, it's powerful, but and it is a 10k shield into Doji, which is helpful. but no heal.
But, ooh, so unfortunately for him, that it's not a massive deal, but a Kinran damage can start coming
If he
up.
doesn't have one, yeah.
But I think a bigger problem is the fact that he didn't get any heals, I think is the bigger concern at the moment.
No heals into Doji. Game.
Again, you're going for what's that column? What are you looking at? What, 20, 33? Scary numbers.
So the damage is 43 now. Shoji has 3 open damage to play with on Rider. The numbers aren't going to be as impressive. So if this could be helped by a defensive trigger here.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, again, we're looking like double Raiden Kunai. So what that means is, although Raiden Kunai can only countercharge once per turn, again, when you look at all these big numbers, those 10k increments really begin mattering. Because if you're swinging for like increments of 15 and you're 30, you really don't want to be dropping all that shield for it. Especially when you can just intercept and just save yourself the hand, it becomes a lot. Because increments of 10 are really rare.
Let's have a look at Shinhymini's hand.
Yeah, we get a bit of a hand. We get to see a little bit of a draw trigger. A few crits, a lot of triggers, I think is a problem.
I think he lives this turn. I think that he lives this turn. But I think the problem is because he has not a lot of offensive output.
Dorian's hand is getting small. That's 2 cards. He's only going to go up to 3 or 4, or 4 or 5 rather. That's
But
not
he is
a
on
lot.
3. He is on 3.
Oh, never mind. It sounds like 4. Ignore me. Ignore everything I said forever.
That's usually advice.
I will not recover from this one.
I will not recover from this. But
again,
and just like that, incredible board state by Doji.
and there's always Persona right. It never isn't. And again, we're going to see Tsugedachi with Kinran. Of course, we haven't spoken about Kinran yet. Brand new con. So funny, this is a rare, but this really makes the deck. So at the end of the battle, it's boosted. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 Shoujo Doji, put it and the unit in front of it in its column to solve. Choose a grade 2 or grade 2 card from your drop zone and add it to your hand.
Yeah.
Or a grade 2 or grade 2 stealth, I believe.
Oh, I think that was a Soul Charger for the over trigger.
Ooh. But remember, so this is now 41k? That's a big number. That's a lot.
I think Shinhymini's considering guarding this. 2 15s.
That's still a lot, though. Yeah, you go for that. Oh, so maybe
Maybe it wasn't 41.
Oh, so he didn't Persona right then? He couldn't.
No, he didn't Persona because he went. Of course, he didn't Persona.
Oh,
he was.
Kinran's right. Yeah, 31. Yeah, that checks out. But in fact, what we're seeing here is a really nifty interaction that makes Doji what it is.
There's the Soul Blasting POT.
Soul Charging OT, it's this card right here, it's Tsukidachi. Allowing us to basically call himself out when you put the Kinran into Soul. Or the Vanguard swing.
Big numbers, big swings. Sorry, small numbers, lots of swings.
Can never underestimate big numbers.
Will that...
Oh, is the damage there?
Yeah, it's 4-3. With Dorian... Will Shinny just... I think he's... let's see if we can see his hands.
So the thing is with Doji as well is, the one interesting thing as well, because I think there's a lot of confusion about this, is it binds up to 2 from the board and 1 from, but you don't have to bind. Important, a lot of these overcharge cards have on-place effects. You don't always want to give it to them. You don't want to give them the place to bounce back. I think that's a weakness a lot of perhaps newer players fall for, because they think, no board, no problems, but you're giving them those effects, and you can't let them stabilize.
PGing there is correct.
Yeah. Because Doji, of course, while having a lot of shield, is weak to big numbers. Because it can just lose those stealth PGs, and you can't do it.
And his hand has been... Didn't take any damage, mind you.
Yeah.
But his hand has been shredded.
Yeah. And but Shenri can make that up, for sure. Is that a heal or a Brachioforce? That might have been a heal. What we can do is get a quick peep over to see if that's a heal trigger, unfortunately. You really don't want to be seeing that at this stage in the game.
Good. That's not good at all.
At this stage, you really want to be seeing those those triggers. But what he does get to pull off, and this is important, we haven't actually gone to discuss this card very much yet. Accel does have has a dedicated order. It has an order called... It effectively lets you CB1 and choose 2 grade 3 or less cards with different names and call them to Regard as long as they have the overcharge ability. That's a board builder.
That's a very good board builder. that can help him recover from the hand shredding that happened earlier.
Yeah. Well, it just negates the need for hand. So again, a lot of standard decks seem to benefit by effectively not doing more, but doing the same with less, which is a weird perspective shift that I think a lot of D design has taken up. And again, decks like Accel really bring that to the forefront. And Eyebrows when that comes out later on in the year. Next year.
I see what I think are 2 heals in that hand.
Yeah, 2 heals and 2 crits, I believe, or at least 1 crit for sure. Oh no, sorry,
so it's a
Brachiophos. It's Brachiophos and a Shenry. Yeah,
Sorry, we saw the green background and thought.
See, our hand at the moment is going to be what? Shenry, heal, and crit, and 1 unknown.
Unknown.
Or is that? Yeah, I believe it might just be Shenry.
So divide skill.
Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for everything. Oh no, actually,
not necessarily.
No, so that's his 3. There's no need to go for divine skill. Your last card's on overcharge. There's just no need, right?
No need. Yeah, no need.
Choose your 3 overcharge, activate all their abilities, and go. But I think the really unfortunate thing here for Accel is what I'm not seeing here. Unfortunately, I'm seeing this on the other rear guard. I'm seeing Panzerschreck, but what I'm not seeing is a restander.
Yes.
Which is massive in this game.
Only being a 3 attack deck. It's just not
big though it may be. You're facing an opponent who's on 3. That just isn't it.
You need to be pushing damage.
He takes the damage. It's non-defensive. It's Ojigishi.
I will say though that self-ping does help.
It does, yeah.
That mini ping does help.
And pings, and importantly, it also negates 10,000 damage. 10,000 power if it hits a trigger.
Yeah.
So everything but OT is just negated. Just doesn't happen. That's probably why we saw the numbers that we did last time.
Shinhymini is in a funny position of double crit. Does do a lot. But then equally so, Dorian has a lot of unopened counterblast.
Yeah. And we're going to get to see the cycle come out. Of course, the cycle is introduced very recently with D set 1, allowing us when they guard it or discard it for right deck, counterblast on or energy blast redraw card. So again, 5Ks that replace themselves. And we see a pattern today of shield value being so important.
Yes. Being a free 5K, especially when your deck doesn't use energy past its minimum gain.
Ooh, and he's really having to give it all.
He's given it all.
And it's Shenry and
Elementaria.
So sadly, he's just not seeing those heals.
Not seeing those heals. Not seeing. But maybe that shows an insight to his hand.
Yeah. You wonder if Dorian can get the read. I mean, Dorian is, again, a high-caliber player. Again, at this stage in the game, everyone is high-caliber, but you're talking about the former world, or the reigning world champion, playing the same deck. This is his home
I actually
turf.
think maybe Dorian doesn't have enough to guard this turn.
Do you just take one of the bigger swings? Ooh, unless... No, he seems to take it, and that's a PG. Oh, that's rough.
PG.
But that's the smaller hit of the 2. So yeah, he's going to he's going to take the right and kunai, so no more shield next turn. And this is a big attack. Is this going to be enough? We're looking at ring up potentially
and
what,
it also
23?
means he can't use Shoujo Doji to go...
Is it 56? And he's gone, unfortunately.
And he's gone, yeah.
Unfortunately for our reigning world champion. Again, congratulations to Shinhymini, able to take this back.
Was definitely the underdog of this story.
Yeah,
world
champion.
Took it home. And that's really all that matters. Doesn't matter if you claim to the world champion. A win is a win.
Yeah, a win's a win. And again, one of the interesting things is how much of a fight we're seeing Set 4 decks put up today.
Yeah, Set 4.
Like we thought, the general results comes out in Japan. We think it's a little on the dull side. Nothing super explosive. Next set we're getting a new Varga form, a new Levidrus form, a new Rezel form. We're looking at supporting all of these decks. We're taking all these decks to the next level, and yet Accel is here taking names. Liesfeld is here taking names. And they're just putting so much pressure on these decks, and they're just functionally unknowns.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see, actually. I'm very excited to keep seeing all of these decks. Do you reckon more of these make top card?
It's likely. It's very likely now that Shiny... It depends on the score, because we don't actually know Shinhymini's score.
Top card's top card, though, right?
But it's top 16, so X2s should be quite comfortable. So I think if Shinhymini's score is good, we could expect to see them in the top cut.
And And I was going to say, with it being still fairly early in the round, I reckon we're probably going to take a very brief intermission. We're going to go off for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be back. We're just going to grab a quick drink, I think, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. Next round is round 7, the last round of Swiss. And stay tuned. Who knows? Maybe some of your friends
This has
can
been the
make
Dragon Empire. It's been the Dragon Empire tournament. There's been a lot of Dragon Empire. Maybe it's just stream luck.
Yeah.
But it's been. If you're a fan of dragons.
Yeah. Outer Orange in shambles. Orange would not survive this event. She just won't.
Maxime neither.
Ooh, yeah.
He's not a red deck.
Is he even here?
No, he's not.
Checks out. Yeah.
He knew it was going to be a red deck format.
When Myros happens, he's like, I'm topping. So some people are just so biased, and I think we should stop all this nation discrimination. We should allow every player to play every deck.
So yeah, if you're a fan of dragons, this is the format for you.
Yeah.
And
so
we'll
many
go on
valid decks though. So many valid Dragon Empire decks. What, 3, 4? We've got our Alcalibras, we've got our Shojidojis, we've got our Shiranus, we've arguably still got our Vargas.
Yeah,
definitely not, because it got a very strong piece of support this set. It got deck filtering. Very scary. But no Vargas yet. I haven't actually seen one around.
I haven't seen any Vargas either. Just walking around, I haven't seen.
And one of the really neat things, I think, for especially newer players, because a lot of our newer players got in through the anime. We know how popular Divines has been and Overdress. So I think one of the really nice buffs in the game at the moment is, and I wonder if you'd agree with this, because we got into the game way back when with the anime was peak. And I think a big thing for new players is seeing the decks they love in the anime manifest in real life.
Yeah, it's nice to see an anime sort of a physical
manifestation
a visual representation of what you're playing.
And so many Divine decks.
So many Divine decks.
And obviously all of them are you get to watch your thing and you get to watch the anime, see a deck, go, you know what, that Divine sticker looks so cool, I want to see it. And then you get to come to an event and he can put up a fight.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. But I reckon we should take a little
small break.
We'll see a small break. And guys, we will see you in the next...
Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in 5.
Or just come back before the next round. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Take care for the last round of Swiss, I guess. Right. All right, guys, and welcome back.
For the last round of Swiss.
Yeah, round 7.
Round 7.
And here's the thing as well. We're looking at 2 very, very talented players. Some of them even locals. But the interesting thing here is we're going to be getting a fairly interesting matchup here. So we saw Alden earlier today, but a couple rounds ago we were talking about another deck that we were thinking about seeing. Do you remember what that deck was?
Oh, I think it was Luard.
Yeah, and yet, ask and you shall receive. So at the moment, we're going to be looking at I think fascinating matchup of one of the format's fastest decks crossed with one of the format's slowest. So, of course, there we go. We can see Alden going fast as well. So both decks getting exactly what they want out of this. Unfortunately for Alden, though, we do see the discarding of the Wisdom really early.
That is unfortunate. And so as normal, Luard is going second, hitting the crest.
The draw 2 go crazy, though.
Draw 2 goes...
Semiris does go. 8.
In 8. And no defensive.
No defensive. Ooh, but that is also a valuable attacking piece for Alden.
It's gone. And no passing. Correct. Got the Owl. The Owl, brilliant. That's going to...
search the Luard early.
Get the Luard early, put a grade 1 in the drop zone.
Well, I think an important thing as well is Semius. Remember, Semius is non-GB locked.
Yes.
She just becomes 10k, which is big, especially into turn 2. Because Morpheus is going to be a grade 1 in that drop zone. So
is that a PG discard?
Yeah.
That is very brave.
Maybe a little early, but...
Maybe you're trying to close out the game soon. I mean, Alden runs out of gas pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Luard.
If it hits that strike turn, it's already over, I think.
So. It'll be funny. Can Alden's Onslaught beat Luard's early tanking?
Yeah.
That will be the question that we find today.
The fastest deck of today versus the slowest deck of
history.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. So, like we said, Alden going rear. So, with Luard being such a deck here's the thing. He just swings past this. That's not a problem, because if you think about it, if he swings Vanguard, right, and Moritz ends up discarding a grade 1 and then shows the Owl, that's a 10k. It still hits him. And Alden can't afford to be rushed here. Yes. Alden has to slow down.
Alden absolutely has to slow down.
Yeah, Alden can't commit a full board and then take damage. Like, if it's a defensive, it's over.
Right. I said the Owl there to get the Luard.
Yeah, the classic Luard.
should be on ritual. Should be on approaching ritual 3 now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, he is on ritual 3, I believe.
Yeah, and even if he isn't, he will 100% will be.
More Festa Owl and Semius, so we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's boosting the Owl. He doesn't need it anymore. And that's
It'll be the
Oh, so that's a heal. But I think a neat interaction here that we can notice is you can see the feature from a nice little card from set 12. Called Purity. So when she's called by an ability, when she's Ringo, once it's the 5th or more battle of the turn, you can bind her, and the attack is PG'd.
Brilliant card.
Searchable as well. So the wand actually has access to a searchable PG, which goes a long way in this meta.
That isn't a Sentinel either.
Yeah, and again, Alden's going to go for that top 5.
This is the turn that I think makes or breaks this matchup. How much pressure can Alden do on this turn? Because afterwards, it's Luad's time
game,
to.
Well, with Luad's hand size, I think just with he's probably going to no pass it, right? So I think, funnily enough, Christopher's best position here isn't even to crit; it's to heal. Because if you heal, then that's winnable at that point. Also, the secret rare Alden looking beautiful and second PG down.
Absolutely, it is. So, Vanguard art is still unparalleled to me. I cannot. I'm an art sucker, and I love how good Vanguard cards.
What's your favorite LK art?
The one that's least warped. No,
this feels like trauma talking.
The history collection one is probably the most beautiful.
You identify with it on a spiritual level.
Spiritual. It's common as well. Maybe there's like.
Maybe there's a trend.
Maybe there's a trial, a little bit of.
Ooh, of course.
Brilliant.
Alden's effect. When things call over the effects, you bounce it to hand. That PG isn't even gone.
That PG is not gone. Yeah.
Gone, but not forgotten. He can just overcall.
So a really nice way to just get PGs back. Get a little bit of pressure, maybe attack, and you get a PG out of it.
Yeah, so he goes for that top 5.
I am curious though, what could Christopher's hand be that he wants to discard a PG for his writing?
We can see it. So it's T-Fault, it's Wisdom, and it's going to be the grade 2. I mean, that's a lot. That's not nothing. Yeah, look at that talking back and forth. Again, bringing attention to how incredible this community is. You see a lot of talking, a lot of players having a great time, and I think that's super important.
No other game has this way. We can just joke about for the last round. This is a game where the winner will go to Swiss.
Yeah, the loser may still, but the winner definitely does.
Yeah. This game has impact.
Yeah. And you can see so many small decisions. Like, I mean, for example, we're looking at the new triple rare for Alden, and we were talking earlier about how it's a massive beta. It stands something. It's shield, like you say.
It's relevant shield for the first 2 strides of the Luad's turn.
Yeah.
And that could help.
Well, especially the last one, because when you know PGs, I mean, you're gonna have to hard guard them, right? And I mean, 20s are valuable. It's so crazy watching the fastest deck in the format and your opponent's 0.
Yeah. I think it's very smart that Moritz called the owl to back row just to guarantee the damage. You want to just slowly put out the damage, and it's a great retire target. So we're just allocating the power now.
There you go. So he's going to be swinging for 25k.
Yes, 25.
And as well,
25 into a grade 2.
Yeah, and if you look at the back row there, this is a card from set 2, so it's almost like Selgun for Divine decks. Effectively, if it's called, if your Vanguard has a Divine skill, what you're able to do is it gains 5k, and at the end of the turn, you can retire and counter charge 1.
Oh wow!
Which again, for a deck that this enables him to stay on that low damage, it stops him getting choked out. And yeah, he's just going swinging. Yeah, we're looking at 38k into a grade 2. Of course, he's going to take it. It's a front.
And it's a front. A defensive is
super big here.
Very helpful.
Yeah, and then he just goes raw 20k. No, that's not 20. That is raw 20. And then Vanguard swing. He draws. He overcalls.
Look at that hand. Alden's hand is very big. It's very healthy. We love to see it.
You're trying to overcall the triple there, right? Surely. Of course, another T-Fall, so that's going to be another 20k swing. Oh, not 20, it's going to be a 10k because it's on grade 3.
Yeah.
That's still okay, that's still... Oh, I believe it overcalls against power as well, so I think it's still alright. And yeah, you're going to watch Moritz. Is Moritz going to try and risk it? I don't know that he will.
I guess it depends on his hand. So he's allowing.
He says no god. It's a heal.
It's a heal.
That is
very good
so
heal.
big. And ooh, what is that card? What are we looking at here?
That looked like a.
And then yeah, the crit's just going to go out and he's going to pass turn. And of course, Luard eyeing up that drop zone, knowing full light's getting those crits back.
Yeah, those crits going back.
But yeah, as well, like Moritz just gonna get the first stride. He got enough CB. The thing that Christopher had to do is he had to start pressuring at some point. But he does put him in perfect position to ping a grade 1, surge 2, and still be able to do the stride skill or the on-attack skill. So you get to do both. And yeah, so okay, so what the card? So you might be wondering, what's that little card we just discarded? Well, as you remember, we talked earlier about the new support from Undercover.
Yes.
And what the card he discarded is Knight of the Dara.
Yeah.
And what Dara allows us to do is one place on Vanguard. If your Vanguard is either Undercover or only Shadow Paladin, you may CB1, top 5, and either add an Undercover or a Shadow Paladin card to your hand. Remember, Ezras is PG only. And of course, you can send it back as well, so it's recyclable. And then it has an additional effect, which is, again, for an Undercover thing or Shadow Paladin, it gains 10k, which, again, relevant numbers, 25k are relevant number. We saw that earlier today. You know, we were watching the Furais. Again, real numbers. It matters. And yeah, of course, he's going to go into the drag driver. And just a brief reminder to those of us who,
haven't strode Luard in a while.
Haven't played standard in a little while. Drag driver allowed us on attack to counterblast 1, flip a card, and search a card with ritual from our deck. So normally that'll be cards like perhaps Solemn Cloud or Morfessa, or any sort of attack extension that you want to really do. And then we're also on top of that getting to see the Luard stride skill. And of course, nothing brings us old head serotonin like the word stride skill. CB1 when stridden upon. Retire a rearguard. I believe it might even have to be a grade 1. No, you just retire a rearguard. And you special summon 2 ritual cards from your deck. Or 2 grade 1s from your deck. And yeah, we go for the 2 Semius. And again, Semius. GB effect. So now the second half becomes relevant. Do you remember Semius?
Yes, very popular on release.
Yeah. Top 2, call 1, bot deck the other. Absolutely incredible effects.
Board building really for free.
Yeah, and it's 10k now as well because he's ritual.
And it's a 10k, yeah. I am very curious to see how the undercover package fares. Because you see a lot of builds with Luard. Some people are still on hostage. Some people are on undercover. So there are lots of builds for Shadows. That's why it's one of my favorite decks in Standard right now.
Well, famously as well, one of the cards they're not running, notably, is another Undercover card from the same set, which allows you to bot deck a normal unit from your drop zone.
Yes.
But of course you don't run that here. Or in this case, our Moritz has opted not to. And of course he's going, ooh, crit front.
Crit and front is...
That's painful. Ooh, that's one of their counter charges. Or was that a heal perhaps? No, it couldn't have been a heal.
No, it wasn't. It was a heal because
he might have allocated the crit elsewhere.
No, it was a heal.
No, he couldn't.
He's at 1.
He was at 1.
He was at 2.
Oh, he was. Yeah. It's that much heal. We just forgot to adjust the damage in the first place. See, mistakes correct themselves eventually. But yeah, you're just gonna swing with a rearguard.
If we could go to Christopher's hand, just because he has that a little bit open, we can sort of get a glimpse into what he's thinking. What is?
Oh, that's looking a lot of PGs. And again, how many PGs did he open? No, that's all 4. We've seen all 4 now, haven't we? Or is that one of them being bounced? This feels like one of them being bounced, I think.
Blocked that very, very comfortable guard.
Yeah.
And he's taking that one.
Ooh, unfortunately that is.
Persona ride gone.
Which, while not a deal breaker, if his hand is healthy, it could still be in there. I just worry a little bit if it isn't, because then this is going to really hurt. Because you're going to have to start pressuring Luard eventually, and that hand is fat.
That Luard hand, he's walled up. He's got it.
Maybe he was the destined one of protection all along.
He's here to protect his win rate.
Yes, Alden does get that persona right. Ooh, he's gonna start. We're seeing Selgion coming out now. Things you absolutely, positively love to see.
Yeah, he's swinging for
30.
30.
30, that's so big.
So how do you think Moritz should go about guarding this time?
Oh, so yeah, starting over the front if you have it, which we know he does. Oh, he takes the Maple, which does hurt this a lot. So Maple in this matchup, you know what it does? It lets you to revive, and that's a resource. Now you have to pop things from the board. That's way worse.
Though, I will say his board is incredibly healthy. He can afford to pop things. So maybe you could argue damaging Maple isn't the end of the world.
Maybe not. Because I don't think it's mission critical. I just think it's really helpful for the
It's
deck.
nice to have, but and a very good strong call there.
Yeah, there we go. We got Alden's skill. Getting 2 over, yeah. So he generates the new big booster, and then right after that, he gets himself the new T-Fold stand.
So I'm really curious how you think Alden is going to Alden's game plan should progress from here. Because as you can see, his hand is getting very healthy, but as Luard's game state
Oh, that's over trigger.
Oh,
that's such defensive over trigger. Oh no, sorry, guarding with over trigger.
Yeah, guarding with the over trigger.
So at least we know that's out. So Alden can maybe feel a little more comfortable pushing.
Yeah,
that.
but what that could also do is it could tell Moritz not to go for
and the heal.
Drag Strider.
He ate the crit, but it heals, so it's still able to pull that back a little bit.
3-2, brilliant.
Yeah, I think 4 is like a bit of a dangerous spot for Luard to be in, but I think 3 is pretty comfortable.
But he's just checking his drop zone now, making sure he's got keep his... Important thing to note, 3 open counterblast, and Morfessa is live. So here's where the turns get really scary.
Yeah, and thankfully for Christopher, he's managed to keep it on fairly low damage. He kept it on 2, and it's going a pretty long way at the moment. So Drag Driver skill, I don't even think you do too much with Drag Driver at the moment. Because you definitely keep the Solemn Cloud, because why wouldn't you? But...
Good thing to note, 10,000 to front row now. So these numbers, they're starting to go up.
Numby go up. Well, I mean, that Solemn Cloud is what, 33 now?
Yes.
38 only. So yeah, even that, you're looking at 20k. Again, not insignificant numbers here. Because you don't have 10ks. You don't want to drop 2 5s, but you're not going to drop a 20 either. So you're kind of being forced into really awkward positions. Oh, he does just have the 10. Fair enough. But again, necessitating it now, because Semi-Rest makes for such awkward guarding numbers. Because you know what it's going to call is going to be like something bigger.
There we go, there's the Morfessa.
There you are. The
key attack extender off the deck.
Yeah. So of course Morfessa having the effect of on attack. If you have a Luard Crest, you gain 5k, but distinctly not GB2, but if you have 2 face-up cards in the G-Zone, you also call a Ritual card from your deck. You just counterblast 1 and do it.
There is the crit.
Ooh, that's 2 crits actually. Is he going to check that 3rd critical? That's so dangerous if he does.
This could be a huge tempo change.
Because did he perfect guard the attack? Or did he no guard? Because I see a PG there, but
yeah, he was a perfect
I'm assuming
guard.
he PG'd, right?
Yeah, that was a perfect guard.
Ooh.
And a PG as well. That is
Look at that hand. I don't know how Luard is dying here.
But look at Alden's hand. Alden, and that's another PG guard. That's 3 perfect guards.
All of them, yeah. Almost all of them.
I think this does something else. 3 perfect guards gone.
Save Drag Strider.
No, Drag Strider is now getting even worse. The more PGs are gone, the threat of Drag Strider isn't that relevant. So I think now Moritz is just going to focus on getting the most big attacks as possible.
I think that's why if you look at his G-Zone, we can see Moritz starting to flip Drag Striders.
Drag Striders up, yeah, because PGs are out. Why go into the anti-PG card when you can just make big
Unless
attacks?
those are just his sleeves.
I think they might be. Sleeves. And then he goes to 4 here. But as you can see, the Luard's ability to just grind into that game His next stride is going to be even scarier because the same thing's going to happen. But instead of the numbers instead of numbers being 10k, they're going to be up by 20,000.
Yeah. But knowing that there's no PGs, do you reckon there is ever a world where you just fully commit to a lot of dark drivers and just make a massive column and just go?
Yeah, just keep on making big numbers. Moritz could also be thinking, well, could start counting how many crits that he has left in deck. What if he has 3 or 4 crits and goes, okay, I know 3 PGs are gone. Go.
Oh, he is going to 4 here.
And
5.
going to 5, he is taking them. I think this is a brilliant play. He is denying heals from happening.
Yeah. Because I think like you're triple driving. You know you're seeing more cards a turn than like Christopher is. So you have to make those drive checks count, right?
Yeah. He's playing to his own heals, and he is playing to.
So that's the last PG.
That's the last PG.
No Elementarias then.
No Elementarias.
So yeah, I think Moritz definitely direct strikers now because you know he doesn't have the out. Or I mean, if he has the hard guard, then I mean you're him, I guess. But that feels so strong. Well, also what you're going to see from Moritz's side is again one of the cards that came with the Luard Stride deck set. You're looking at Luminosity Wizard. When it's placed by an ability, it gets plastic. It's an 18k beta on its own. And if it's retired, you can Soul Charge 1 and give Vanguard 5k. Like, really, really strong cards showing up here right now.
Alden is showing no sign of running out of gas yet.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Alden lives this turn. But it depends on what Moritz decides to stride into here. He's got... Yeah. And he's just going to go for big attacks.
More
4 open counterblast.
Yeah, there is a world here where if he has Morfessa, he has, 6 attacks?
Yeah, you can...
Because you go rear Morfessa... He does, he has it. Because you go rear Morfessa, rear, Vanguard, Morfessa, rear.
This is a terrifying turn.
Yeah.
How do you think Christopher should be approaching this?
Remember as well, he's going to have plus 25k to the front row halfway into this turn. Because yeah, so this swing is it's 38k.
Yes.
Which is crazy numbers.
That's demanding 2 15s.
Yeah. Which is exactly
what he's going to show.
I think it was like front and a draw maybe. Those 2 cards, I believe. And yeah, he's going for the CB, he's going to overcourse. So I think you save the Slom class for later in the game.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, he's just going through his deck, checking what he's got. And no, you go for the Slom class. I guess I suppose later on, whatever it is, 5k bigger, right? Yeah. So you can call another grade 2 and it should still be fine. And yeah, it's still making these scary, scary numbers. Like, Morfessa is gaining, it's what, 35k right now? And yeah, it's another PG. I think that's the last one.
I wouldn't be too sure. I think there might be one more. No, no, you're right. You're right. There are all 4 of them are gone.
Because you drive checked the last last one last time. You went twin drive.
Yeah.
Okay, check it in the crit.
Yeah.
Oh, seems to be a...
Oh, I think Christopher PG'd and he swung and then started doing drive checks. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Okay, so they're just taking it back. I think Christopher thought that it was the Vanguard that was swinging. Just let the judge...
Man, this is just like another thing to the judging staff we have on hand today. I mean, you know, we might not have thought this because, you know, we're trying to, you know, provide some commentary on it, but, you know, people at home might have caught it. And, you know, you don't want to accidentally tarnish a game's experience because of something like this. So having dedicated judge staff on hand to help us with stuff like this is super valuable. So again, huge thank you to Blackfire and Busho for giving us these people.
And I think today's judges, Alex, who was the former world champion himself.
We had Francis dedicated, and we had Mash today being an incredible head judge. So I think, yeah, they're just trying to iron some kinks out, but hopefully we're able to resume shortly. There you go. Okay, it looks like we're able to resume things slowly.
So now he's swinging. Now Moritz is swinging with the Vanguard, calling out the Morfessa with 1 open counterblast left.
But that's all he needs.
That's all he needs.
Because as well in the Vanguard now, like, he can check crits, and like while the thing the Morfessa calls doesn't connect, it's big. And he's going to be able to spread his triggers now, because there's no reason for him to dedicate it early. And yeah, it's his last PG by the looks of it. So yeah, I think that's the last one he's getting. That's a blank, and that's a
no
crit.
crit.
I think that's okay though, right?
Or I think one crit was needed.
I mean, his hand is still a little healthier than you would have liked, but I still think it's salvageable.
Do you have any Lord players machine?
Is it like his Navi ID? Like his ID or deck lock? No.
Lord players, sorry. There you go, thank you.
No, it's,
We're just
there you go, sorry guys.
handling the interaction of the judge call, just to get so we could get clarified, so we as commentators know what's happening. So he's just calling the swinging with the Morfessa, calling the attack. Christopher's successfully guarded the dragon swing, so Moritz needs both of these attacks to connect. Yeah, and there we go. And he survives.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't even take anything.
Well, I mean, you can't afford it, can you? Like, I mean, you take the one, right? Because like you have to, but
Oh, he didn't take any. Oh, sorry. Is he on?
he's on 5.
He's on 5. Oh, he is on 5. Yeah.
Yeah, because he took a crit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't Alden running a little low in his deck? He's looking a little light on deck there.
Yeah. It's got to be more than 2 in
Draw for turn.
hand.
Ooh.
I think next turn.
Yeah, it's getting a little close. It's getting a little close.
I think Luad. What do you think?
He's on
I'm-
6 in deck. Are you sure? That's getting real low.
I think this is the final turn of the game.
I think it
this
has to
will
be.
determine the game.
I think it has to, right? Because his hand is not big either.
His hand's not big. But Moritz is on 5 damage.
Yeah. You just need something to connect. CV1, draw 2. Oh, it's Wisdom. Is he going for Wisdom? That's so ballsy. Because you literally that's Wisdom. You literally put yourself down to your last card in deck. Christopher looked Moritz in the eye and said, this is it.
This is it.
One of us is not walking out of this turn alive.
Calling over.
And just
and
discards?
calling that last
Oh,
card
just
as
go,
a
yeah.
crit.
Ooh. Oh. Do you think what he's trying to do here is going to swap the crits, put it to soul so that he has the soul to restand with the Grey Tusco when he calls over it?
That's exactly.
Because yeah, he's choosing the fact that it's a 13k booster and he goes, this should be enough. Yeah, look at him. He's ready. Look at that body language. You can really tell how invested they are in this. Oh, that is such a...
no.
Oh, not like this.
No, not like this.
Not like this. Oh, if this
He
is...
doesn't get this. I think he has the soul. I don't think it matters, but
So it's just a body on the board? It
yeah,
must
I
be,
think
right?
it's just for the body.
But the argument would be that the trigger doesn't gain power when the resend does it. Are you mistaken? Does it? It might. Oh, it's another trigger. That is another trigger in the hand. See, unfortunately, the card of concern here. Yeah, so the unit he's going to be placed on top will be getting 10k, but not the thing he's restanding.
That is time on round, but this doesn't apply to Christopher.
Yeah,
and
'cause we're
Moritz,
starting a little
because
bit
we
later,
started
yeah.
a little bit later.
But in fact, I don't think it proceeds past this turn anyway. And does he drive it? First check, Selge on second check. Crit trigger!
Crit trigger.
This is so
He's
relevant.
thinking.
This
He's
is so
thi-
relevant.
Does he make both bigger?
Well, because at the moment the trigger hits.
Oh, he's accidentally put them in drop zone, but I don't think it matters. I think
And
he
you got the PG.
Yeah.
And yeah, he showed him game.
Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic game. Oh my god, look at Moritz.
Fantastic
Look at
game.
the emotion.
Fantastic.
Oh my god,
game.
congratulations.
This was the best game of Swiss so far, I think.
Absolutely fantastic game.
I am
Congratulations,
so-
Moritz. Oh my god.
I'm so glad this is how Swiss ended.
Yeah, Luan was such a... I mean, Luan showing dominance. We saw
Luan's
Alden
best
carry
step.
earlier. We saw Alden take names earlier, and now we see Luan showing up as well. Like again, all the nothing to scoff at.
Congratulations to both players.
Amazing. I really hope we see them both on top of that. I think it'd be so cool.
From how they played in this game, they did both that was amazing.
After 7th round,
Shadowverse Showdown.
But that's the thing. Like,
the following names, please come here with your decks. I will collect them.
So what we're getting is a daily dose of Francis. Francis, my goat. But I reckon
I'm very happy with how that last game went.
I think I'll add some top 8 for not Shadowverse.
Al, please.
No how.
Unfortunate, but
You're like, that's it. I don't care anymore.
no how. Okay, that's all I cared about for Shadowverse.
See you in Portugal.
See you in Portugal. But no, that was a brilliant showing of what Luard can do and what Alden can do. Alden played that very well.
Yeah, the other one way longer than we thought.
Yeah.
We
thought it would be run out of gas and then
more like run out of deck.
More run out of deck. I guess deck is your gas, but still.
His tank was empty.
Game's not over till the last card is drawn, and he drew his last card.
I think that's so. I think at the moment we're probably going to be waiting on shortly until top 8, top 32. Top 16
top
is announced.
16.
And I reckon once that happens, we can probably go on a little break until top.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what has topped, who has topped,
and most importantly, why has topped.
Why has topped, but who will win? They're at the first. They've completed the first stretch. You've got 4 more rounds to lock in.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
You have 1, 2, or 4 rounds left. Unfortunately, no 3-rounders here.
No 3.
We don't endorse 3-rounders. That's coward shit.
You will for the top 16 game. That I feel has the most amount of pressure.
I think it does. Yeah.
Before top 8, top 16, top 8. If you lose in those first 2 games, you're out. You don't get anything. You get a playmat for top 8.
Yeah. But they all will get the now crest.
They all get the now crest. Yeah.
They can all make rent this month.
They can all make.
This thing, it's gonna be. I'm really excited to see what Top Gun looks like. Really excited.
I'm expecting a lot of red. That fuzzy pie chart is going to look very red when he uploads it. But other than that, we know there's a Luard.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe an Alden or something.
Maybe hopefully an Alden. Hopefully, maybe a Rezael, Cormac. Very good player.
I know Dave's undefeated, so there's Nui for sure.
There's one Nui for sure. So I'm excited, and I hope you too. I hope you at home are also excited.
Yeah, I think it's a really good representation of like what DBT format 4 is.
Yes.
Because like you're seeing decks from not just the recent set taking names, but you have your Stride decks, your set 2, 3, 4 decks, and all of them seem to have transitioned really well into this format. So I think it's going to be a really, really interesting one to watch.
I'm very excited.
But in that case,
I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Stay tuned on Twitter.
Stay tuned.
We will let you know when top 16 actually is starting. We hope you guys enjoy. We will see you very, very, very soon. And until then,
bye.
Bye.